Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
It's a little nippy out there today. A
It
little cold.
is.
It's a little bit cold. For a split second, when I said nippy, I instantly freaked out.
I saw you look away real quick.
Yeah, I did. I was like, I because you don't want to say that to. Now you don't want to say that to ladies. I don't feel like. Back in the day, you would start your day. Cup of coffee, you'd say, hey, it's a little bit, and you would even go further. You'd say it's a little bit nipply out there. And that was acceptable. It's not you cannot do that anymore.
When
I canceled it. I'm canceling it right now.
Is it acceptable
No, it's not.
to make a comment about
Nipples? No.
Never.
Can't.
a female
Nipples? No, never.
employee's
Hey.
Butt.
hard nips from the cold? Like, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause
It's never appropriate.
That used to be, a little jokey
Well,
joke.
you'd
like,
say
hey, it's cold out there, huh?
Cold out there. You'd say a little bit nipply, or you'd say like, or the one that's just a little too far. You'd be like, ugh, somebody's excited.
How
yeah, but that one's too far.
It's
Too far. But then, like, what are you really saying? Excited
How?
for what? Excited for pizza or excited for sex? Like, I mean,
you can make the argument that, like, if you made a comment about someone's goosebumps,
don't ever talk about.
It's the same phenomenon,
A little
right?
bit goosebumpy out there.
Yeah, but you get the goosebumps as a reaction, like the same with the hard nips.
When I get horny, I get goosebumps all over my body. Horrible. I break out in hives when I get horny.
So what do you say,
That's not
Samantha?
She's already checked out.
When is
She's
it?
already checked out because she
Is
knows you're using this
is it
as a
okay?
clever way to
Huh?
be able to
no,
do it.
No, is it?
She's also holding her
I'm
arms
now
over.
covering my chest.
Yeah, she's now.
Is it ever okay?
It's never. I don't think it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
reference-
ahead and say that's a negative.
Oh, okay. All
Don't
right.
do that.
Listen, I'm learning.
You live and you learn.
But
I'm
with
learning every
guys,
day.
it's okay, right?
I don't think we should talk about anyone's nipples in the office.
I think with guys, you're supposed to.
Yeah, hold on.
Like,
yeah.
if Butler comes around the
you
corner.
can't take sexually harassing Butler away from me. That's all I got.
If Butler comes around the corner and he's wearing, he's wearing a silk dress shirt.
Yeah. I'd be like,
Well,
look
then
at
he's
that.
asking for
I'm
it.
like, where are you going later? And he's like, my friend's got a vampire wedding. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And he walks in and he's got, ice cutting.
Yeah. You can cut glass.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looks as if somebody has cellophane wrapped a copper BB right on his chest. I'm gonna have to say something, and you can never stop me. No one.
One day, though.
No one will ever stop me.
Well,
from saying
one
something.
day we'll be canceled for it.
No, you cannot.
Oh.
I'll die on this hill. It's the one I'll die on.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
What do we got here?
Yeah, we got to do.
EJ.
We got to do this thing. It's
Nerds. Yeah. Nerds. Yeah. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
Yeah.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. How you doing, EJ?
Good. Thanks for starting my segment off with sexual harassment. Thank you.
That's not sexual
Yeah,
harassment.
no, we're asking if this type of sexual harassment is okay. You understand the
I don't
difference?
even think it's sexual harassment.
Yeah. No.
Like if you come in from outside, it's cold and your nipples are hard, and I go, look at your nipples. Somebody's excited. What is that?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
I'm killing time. That's all I'm doing. I don't want to
Yeah.
work. It's the things that
Yeah.
it's necessary things that have to be said during work hours in order for us to get to the
Yeah.
end so we can drink ourselves to sleep.
I'm just making
Okay.
sexual jokes towards a female employee.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
It's not harassment.
That's fine.
It's only harassment if you do it more than 3 times.
At least they pay me now
Yeah.
to harass me.
Oh, we need to talk to you about
Actually,
that.
Wait a minute. It's the
It's
holiday.
the worst day for you to mention that.
all right, EJ, what do we got?
Let's start off with the video that Samantha sent you guys from me.
All right.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
It's my
We got a
nips.
video. See, you can't do that.
Yeah.
My God, you can only fit half of one in the video.
Hey.
Okay, this is.
Oh, I saw
are you
that.
saying?
I saw this dude.
Oh,
What is
this
this?
dude? Emmanuel Duran. Oh my God.
So, yeah, explain.
play this video
Well,
or do
explain
I?
it, EJ.
I think you should just play the video, and
Okay.
just the reaction is good enough.
Well,
All right.
I think
It's a high school football player. We'll start off with that, and it's during the high school playoffs I think it's Texas is where they're playing. And Texas
I did see
football
this.
is really.
I did see this, and the reason I enjoy this video is because it looks like a WWE wrestling drop kick,
yeah.
and I laughed and I laughed.
So-
now it's a bad thing because you can tell that this kid He looks a lot like
Oh,
Stitches.
he ruined his life,
Well,
for
he looks like Stitches, and you can tell he's just going to end up like doing bad things. Like he looks like.
Well, they arrested him.
Yeah, well, they should.
Well,
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
but
And so what he got mad
He
about
needs to.
is that there was a roughing the passer call and then another penalty, I believe, a
Personal foul. I think it was. Like, he probably said something to the ref, and
Yeah.
that's why I got him ejected.
Yeah, so roughing the passer, personal foul from the person that roughed the passer, and then the ref was ejecting him from the game.
Two personal foul penalties like that, you get ejected.
And this particular player, high school player, freaked out and then trucked the referee, ran across the field and trucked the
let's watch
referee.
it.
Okay, here
I
we
haven't
go.
seen
You gotta
it yet.
watch it.
okay, Sam, it's a little.
I heard about it. I just haven't watched it.
It's a little much. All right, here we go. We're watching.
We got 2 fouls on the defense. We got a personal foul, late hit on the quarterback, number 88, and non-sportsmanlike conduct, number 88 on the defense, has been disqualified.
Up. Here he comes.
And the crowd sees it coming.
Oh, yeah. Which he doesn't even turn.
Ooh!
And that high
He
school
had
football
people
player.
chasing him too.
Yeah, and he's
oh,
done.
Man,
And just
look
like
at him
that,
still wanting to go
yeah,
back.
and just like that, he was done.
For a
Oh,
job.
then Adam Sandler.
What is that?
Well, they're all gonna
Man.
laugh at you, Adam Sandler. Oh, we
Why
got the
did you
Adam.
send me the goof at it?
So, a couple things. One, if for that kind of job, you need to be really perceptive about what's going on around you, and he
Right.
wasn't, because all the the audience was like, oh, like it didn't cause
Maybe he thought they were upset because he threw them out.
How
Yeah.
do you, in this day and
Although-
age, not eject somebody and look at them while you're doing it?
or at least check to see.
You know what? No, I'm serious. Like we make decisions around here. It's
Yeah.
it's like taking a sip of your Coke and just like sort of pouring it in your ear. It seems like. Like, how do you not know what's going on? What was he looking at? Straight ahead? Is he blind?
Let's rewatch it. I gotta see whatever he's looking
because
at.
watch, he ejects the guy, then the audience starts reacting because the player has to run from the sideline to midfield, which is, how long is that, EJ? What is that, 20 yards? Like a field, what, is 50 yards wide. So it's 25 yards, right?
But he ran an angle, so it might have been a good, he got a good 30 yards clip going before
was
he hit him.
trucking it.
Yeah, and he did hurt. I think the guy ended up getting
the guy
a
ended up
concussion.
getting
He had
hurt.
to
Yeah.
go to the hospital.
He
Yeah,
legitimately
really bad.
got hurt. I shouldn't laugh at it.
Because this is an older gentleman,
Feel bad.
and the even though he's a teenager, the guy looks a pretty big dude.
Well, it's assault,
defensive
and
end
he
or something.
should be arrested.
He's a
right?
defensive tackle, so I think he's like 6'3". He's close to 300 pounds easily.
So he hurt this old man when he trucked him, but if the old man would have seen it coming, I feel like he could have dodged it a little bit.
I don't know.
He was caught totally off guard, and that's what I think hurt him the most. And it's like the audience is yelling, the guy's running 25
They're
yards.
like, "Hey, old
towards you."
man!
Yeah.
Don't get the elder. Yeah, but
Why
you can
didn't
hear
someone
them.
yell?
Here, they did.
The
You
ball
can-
is coming.
No, you can hear them. You can hear them yelling. Here, we'll go back to it because Sam wants to see what he's looking at.
Yeah, maybe he's looking at the ground.
He's looking because he's doing his presentation to the crowd, which
And then he
Right.
turns, and then he starts walking towards the
Yeah.
the
I think
field
he
of
was
play.
getting set for the next play.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
looking at the ball,
and
which
then
is off the
then he
field.
gets turtle shelled. And what I mean by that is he gets hit, and then he does that move where his spine just makes him roll.
yeah.
Here,
And
Well, I wasn't
non-sportsmanlike
expecting
conduct,
it.
number 88 on the defense, has been disqualified.
So,
is he Dusty Rhodes?
and he
I
picks
was
up
gonna-
his flag. He's walking. He's not paying attention. The guy's running at him right now. Look, old man, look. He's going to get shot. Oh, trucks him.
He braced at the last millisecond. You saw his arms kind of go up a little bit.
Yeah. But the
Hold
guy.
on, I want to hear. I think it's a Spanish Dusty Rhodes. Hold on.
The
We got a
guy.
personal foul, late hit on the quarterback, number 88, and non-sportsmanlike conduct, number 88 on the
We got an unsportsmanlike conduct, baby. Hold on.
He's
Okay, everybody, we got an unsportsmanlike conduct, baby, on number 88, and I'm just gonna stand here and I'm looking at the audience, but oh no, they got the big, oh, he gonna get me, baby, oh, he getting me good, baby.
Yeah,
That's what it
I
looked
will
like.
say,
to me.
Oh, I miss Poo Poo Dusty.
That's what it looked like to me.
In fact-
Spanish Dusty Rhodes got knocked over.
if he just stepped aside or got in between another player. Anyway, so
Man, I feel bad.
He's 5'11", 225 pounds.
Oh, we thought he was like a big boy. He's not. EJ, you got to stop with the misinformation. He's not
I don't
6'3",
know. I assumed
375.
he was a defensive tackle. Usually they're about that size. The,
Well,
the guys on my team were that big.
dude,
at high school, not college.
5'11", 260.
225.
And this
225.
guy,
That's still big.
he's a
That's
big
not
guy.
that big.
But this guy's,
big.
and the poor ref,
Yeah.
a lot of these guys, because I remember working for Volusia County Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
You know, a lot
He's
of
a
these guys are
volunteer,
volunteers.
yeah.
You know, they take time
Yeah.
out of their
And this
schedule to do
gentleman,
this for the kids. And
maybe
then
in his mid-50s.
they said he's 60, I think.
Yeah, you get trucked by a guy.
man.
But by the way, he's wearing. Anyway, so this guy he got arrested, and
Mm-hmm.
he'll never play football, possibly again.
No,
right? Yeah.
never again, probably.
Is that really like? There's no.
Because what's the advantage? Like, unless this guy was some sort of anomaly star athlete, no coach is going to want to deal with it.
Right,
Like, he can't,
right. No,
he
I
can't control
understand.
his temper. You know, if you truck a referee, then you're for sure going to.
I don't think I've never seen that. You know, I played, club soccer on 3 different teams, and I played in high school, and I've never seen anybody ever get in a ref's face, or I've seen people get mad that they're getting ejected or mad for a red card,
Well,
but I've never seen anybody ever go up, get in their, grill or any of that.
And this is they know the repercussions, and it's a huge no-no, and especially laying your hands on him, and I'm like that's it. Your football career is done.
And he's not there. Was there any rebuttal from the kid, his parents, anything at all, or are they just
I don't think he's
accept
probably
that he's an animal?
Yeah, he's
boy
probably a
and-
trash
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, he's an animal boy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he has no self-control whatsoever. His parents are probably like that too.
The whole team got removed from the playoffs,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
well,
which
that's
is not cool. I don't think that's fair.
That's a clampdown. That's this will
Yeah.
never happen again. And why? Because we're going to punish everybody.
Yeah, they're just trying to make a statement at this point.
Yeah.
And they
because
won that game. His team won
Yeah,
that
they
game.
did.
That's it. Really, it shows you, and I've said this before, like the amount of
Hold
power.
on.
What?
According to this article, the player, he was the star defender. He was suspended in the 2019-2020 soccer season for an incident similar to the one that took place on Thursday.
Oh my god.
Really? Oh, so
This guy's trucking people left and right in each sport.
Well, hold on a second. He's in the wrong
He's also
sport.
a standout wrestler.
No, he's in the wrong sport. No football for you. No soccer for you. We're going to get you into MMA. And we're going to get you some therapy. Because
Yeah, they
honestly
gotta
need
get
to
him
talk
some
this out. We need to get
Well,
you.
no, I mean, if he's in the fighting business, that's all he needs to do.
Well,
Like,
it
be as mad
could
as you want.
help, but it'd be nice to talk it out a little bit too. I feel like there's a little more to the story here.
But it goes
Severe neglect.
it goes to show you how powerful like a blind rage is, like that chemical, whatever that is. Like this guy couldn't even control himself.
You've
Like,
never
Yeah.
had that though.
No,
You're
no.
lucky you don't have that.
So I mean, this is a chemical imbalance, right?
Yeah.
Like when your anger gets to the point where you cannot control your actions, you are imbalanced.
Ooh,
And
testosterone and
need
adrenaline,
some
probably a
anger
bad
management.
idea.
yeah. But it's like normal people don't do this. They fly off the handle. I mean, obviously, I'm sure this guy realizes how big of a mistake this is after. I'm sure he's not like, I'm glad I didn't do it.
I don't know if he did it
No.
last year in a soccer match. Then maybe he
looks-
doesn't realize.
Now, I'm gonna just look at the guy and guess.
Rage
he
dodo?
is happy he did it, and immediately following, maybe not now, but immediately following, he's like, "That's what you get, old man." In your
Possibly.
face. Yeah,
Yeah.
he looks like that guy. Like he looks like the guy that gloats.
I get
That stands over the old man that chops his crotch.
You're never gonna play again. Like that's it.
I understand that,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
just saying he does not at all. Like you said, if I asked
Remorse,
him now,
yeah.
he'd be like, yeah, I was just, I got lost. No, I think he's like, I would do it again tomorrow.
All right, what else we got, EJ?
Well, I definitely my list is definitely fight heavy. I got we got to talk about Floyd Mayweather accepting the challenge.
The
Hold
mayor,
on, who's that?
The mayor of Floydville.
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Right?
We talked about this a little bit on
Yeah.
was it the BDM show or
I think so.
It
On the
all
OG
blurs
show, I
together.
think
It
he went
all-
long
yeah.
on that.
I could tell you, but
One of them.
So yeah, he took this
Yeah.
fight. We can't figure out what this will be.
Payday, that's it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
well, but is this gonna be
Is it going to be like this one, no headshots? Is it going to be Mike Tyson again, where no knockouts?
Yeah, or
I think it'll be no knockouts.
How much is Mayweather going to try? Like, is he going to put on a show and dance around with this guy for 5 rounds just to make a show out of it? Because then it's hard to even predict what's going to happen because it all depends on Mayweather's motivation, right? Like, I think we can all agree that if Mayweather wanted to end the fight in the first round, he for sure could.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even
with the reach advantage and the weight advantage that Paul has.
I think there's just too much.
He was the best boxer in the world at one time.
Too much skill, and it's in the DNA.
Even with a 50-pound weight advantage and the reach, you could use pure speed and the fact that there's no way this guy's going to hit Mayweather. Pacquiao at his prime couldn't hit Mayweather, or underneath. Like the best fighters in the world who trained their whole lives couldn't hit Mayweather. You think this Dodo social media guy who's boxed for 5 years,
twice,
maybe? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
not even.
But I'm saying he's been training boxing for 5 years as an aerobic exercise, and then got into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy, even if he's an okay amateur boxer, has no chance against Mayweather. It all depends on what Mayweather decides to do, and how do you bet against that? That's all I care about.
What do you take? Do you take the under over on landed punches for Paul?
I can't even bet on this.
Mayweather's going to control the narrative no matter what.
So it's not a true sporting event where I'm like, all right, if this is a true sporting event, of course I'd bet everything I own on Mayweather to win, whatever the money line is. And if I knew Mayweather was going to try 100%, I'd bet under 2 rounds that he'd win. You know, or like it depends on the odds, but I don't know, and that's the problem with these things. Just like the Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah, the exhibition. Well, it looks like Mike Tyson might be fighting Evander Holyfield too.
Tom started talking about the Mike Tyson fight. Started to get
emotional.
A little sad.
I was talking too fast.
I forgot that you
catch your breath.
Mike won't take your calls anymore, will you? And it kind of hurt
too
your
much
feelings.
caffeine.
Oh,
So Tom Roden you.
So these novelty fights are fine, and they're gonna be entertaining because you don't know what's gonna happen. But
they're spectacles.
I don't understand why people are getting so mad about them. It's like you didn't care about boxing before. They're trying to pivot, so let them pivot. Whatever.
The problem is,
I think people are mad that they paid for it.
and
wow, that's on you.
Yeah, I agree.
And we don't know whether it's 100%. Are you trying as hard as you can, or are you putting on a show?
Right.
Because that's the difference between a real sporting event and wrestling or professional wrestling. Like, not that the absolute outcome is determined, but if you are like, hey, I'm going to go in there, spar with this guy, make it look good for 5 rounds, and then beat him, that is basically a planned outcome. You see what I'm saying?
I have a prediction that they are going to have to draw a line, a definitive line, in the sand of whether it is real or exhibition, and then the companies that I know you frequent to gamble will decide whether they're in or they're out. There will be a line in the sand drawn, and they will decide what to do and what not to do. They're going to have to, right?
And and they'll take money on this fight, but even maybe the companies don't know what to do, because it's like, all right, if this is a real fight, what do you even put Mayweather as a favorite?
I mean, you have to avoid it
minus
at all costs.
10,000. I mean, it's such a for sure win that it's like, how do you even determine what this is going to be?
You know, Christine in our Twitch chat room, she'll come in with some like super creative, weird things that I didn't think of, and I think this is pretty interesting. She said, "Is that the end goal for the Logan brothers to get signed to WWE or something like that?" Yeah. Well, I think the end goal is to keep their popularity out there. I mean, obviously, I think he is benefiting more from this than Floyd Mayweather is.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at least for the legitimacy of him as a boxer in the sport. But Christine, that's not a bad pivot. I mean, those guys, they already are natural heels. People don't like them.
Yeah.
True.
They are athletic.
It's all about attention.
They're good-looking guys. They're athletic. You know, you put them in there. You put them together as a tag team or something like that. People hate them naturally.
God.
It would work. It would work.
Attention,
it would work.
Attention to them
Logan brothers
means money.
And people would hate it. You'd hate the Logan brothers, and people would love to hate them.
Perfect heels. They would be a perfect heel in the WWE.
Christine, that's a great idea.
It's like why Gronkowski went back to the NFL. It's attention to him. It's better for his brand. I mean, I don't think he got back in there to like really do well as a tight end, even though he wants to, and he's doing fine. It's just it's more valuable for the attention that it gets Gronkowski than anything, and then he can parlay that into tons of money after this season, even if it's just one season. He got a good amount of attention, and just like the Logan brothers, and like it's all about attention. And if you have attention, you could turn that into dollars.
It's not bad hanging out in Clearwater for a pandemic year while you're playing on a good football team in Florida.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
People are talking about you. Yeah. You'll leave this year. You'll do more Gronk cruises.
You could be playing for the Jets.
You'll do more events. You'll be a bigger brand. It's good.
Who knows? Maybe he wants to settle around here. I like.
Well, since we're talking about. We can switch over to the NFL. We're talking about the NFL. The Steelers lost yesterday. Did you see that?
Yep.
Against the Washington football team. If you lose the NFC East team, you're probably in trouble.
I immediately texted Tom because I know that Tom is the big. You are absolutely the biggest. Well, you love to see a guy go all the way down, almost near death, almost die, then come back. You love a good hero story.
Alex Smith story.
You are the biggest Alex Smith fan I know of. You love him. He's your favorite quarterback.
You know what's bizarre about this? And this makes me, honestly, and maybe someone can explain it to me.
This, though?
No.
Didn't you say that
I know.
You thought he was going to beat the Steelers?
No.
Didn't you?
Well,
I thought you said if anybody would do it, you thought he would do it.
No, it was just because of the position that the Steelers were in.
The timing, yeah.
We weren't on the air, but I remember you saying.
And every professional gambler podcast I listened to was like, this is a bad spot for the Steelers. I mean, this line was 10, the look-ahead line, and then it kept getting betted down. It started at 7, and then people were talking about because the Steelers' schedule was so screwed up from last week, they got short time to prepare, all this stuff. But then everybody was like, how are the Steelers going to lose against the Washington football team, against a guy that almost died? Like it just seems so improbable. But everybody on paper, they're like, this is a bad spot for the Steelers. They had such a short week to prepare. Washington had a long week to prepare. Steelers are going to come out flat here. This is a bad spot. Everybody's saying it, but no one believed it. I didn't. Like, I had a bunch of teasers on the Steelers and money line parlays for the Steelers to win.
Oh, you were having a good week.
And then I lost on this. But yeah. So,
you hate Alex
but
Smith.
I did take a sip of my White Claw and cheers the 7-2 Dolphins. I go, not today.
I knew you would.
And it's the only thing as a Dolphins fan we have is a stupid undefeated streak.
That's all right.
It may be a record. Okay, let's talk about this, EJ. I don't know. I don't think it is ever going to be beaten. If any time, I thought that this COVID year, I was like, it's such a weird year that maybe the Steelers are going to go undefeated, and I was mad. I was like, they're going to take it away from me.
Do it.
And because of the COVID year, and then I was going to put an asterisk and be like, well, they're undefeated, but it was COVID, so Dolphins are still like, I already prepared my statement in my head when the Steelers were going to go undefeated. I was like, well, it doesn't really count. This is a weird year. No audience. I was like, there's no money in the stands.
Yeah, but you got to talk it away, right?
Yeah,
you have to.
But I didn't have to do that. They are not going to go undefeated. Going back to conspiracy theories. So,
okay.
Before Alex Smith was even on the field, and I think maybe right after he played that game against the Rams, where he looked like a Make-A-Wish kid, and they were just going to kill him, right?
That was bad.
Yeah, and Aaron Donald,
it's kind of scary.
He got sacked like 12 times, and it looked like he had no business playing football.
They're just murdering him.
For whatever reason, the line of comeback player of the year, he was still favored, right, at that point in time. And I was like, how is this guy still favored as the comeback player of the year after that performance? And seemingly so it felt like someone had information that the general public didn't have, because I listened to a lot of content about this stuff, and everybody was confused by it, and everybody's like, why is this guy still the favorite? We know because of the story, but this assumed that this guy was going to actually be a starter and start winning some games. And how could you predict that? It may have just been Vegas and the odds makers thinking that if he did, then he would for sure win. And now, obviously, he's going to win comeback player of the year.
Well, because it's subjective. The fact that he's on Washington, who doesn't have a name, Ron Rivera's battling cancer, and then he comes back from that horrible leg injury. Like, the story writes itself, and because that's subjective, and the voters are going to love that.
Yeah,
because it looks like it's like an Oscar nomination.
But
it's that kind of story.
But you're right, 100%. But what I'm saying, he was still the favorite before he even was a starter. And when he got in that game and looked horrible, I was like, how? Like this guy is never going to be a success, and then all of a sudden he starts playing well, and like he stringed together some games and he won.
Stem cells.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
he did it. Feet. I was betting against him heavy, and I was talking mad ass like this guy is never gonna. This is all hype. This is BS, and he proven me wrong.
I texted you.
He beat the Steelers. Now, do I think the Washington football team is gonna do anything this year? No, but it's a good story and good for him.
What else you got, EJ?
The last thing we got to talk about the Dolphins fighting with the Bengals. Because that was interesting as well. Did you see that fight?
No, I didn't see the fight. I heard about it. Like, what happened there?
Okay, what happened was the Dolphins return man was getting leveled every time he was returning a punt. Like, the first time, the guy didn't even, like, wait, and he just totally barreled into him. And then he did it again and got a 15-yard penalty. And then, of course, the two benches cleared and they started fighting. Even the coach was fighting for the Dolphins, and he's going to get fined for it.
I saw Brian Flores.
Yeah.
He ran out there, which I never see coaches do, but he's kind of a young guy. He's not a old Andy Reid. Andy Reid's not running anywhere. So he got super heated, and it took them like 15 minutes to determine
to clear it up. Yeah,
because I kept going back. I was bouncing because I bet on that game against the Dolphins. I lost, and God damn it.
Bad week for you this week
he normally doesn't get that hot, right?
No, well, that was one of the only games I lost, and that and the Steelers.
Range of emotion this morning is all over the place.
I was excited about the Dolphins, and then for whatever reason, I can't. I think they're not letting Tua really put himself out there that much because
you're saying they're not letting Tua
they're protecting him for
do what he can do.
I don't know, but it just doesn't look good. Like, I don't think they converted a third down for like 3/4 of the game. It was like some ridiculous. Like, their defense is playing well. It just they won the game. I just don't know what they're gonna do.
They got Kansas City this week, which is gonna be interesting at home. So that kind of works out for them that way. But I don't know. Kansas City still looks pretty good.
They're not beating Kansas City.
That's not gonna happen.
I don't think.
I would take the points though. I would say the Dolphins keep it close.
What's the spread? 7.5.
If it's 7.5, I would take the 7.5.
I don't like that a half point. I'd tease it down, but anyway. Anyway, so
nerd.
Yeah.
Let's talk about nerd. The big story is the WB is going to release all their movies in theaters to the HBO Max service. So if it releases in theater, they're going to release it on HBO Max. Like Dune is going to be on there. Wonder Woman. What was the other ones? I know because Christopher Nolan is really mad about it. Have you heard that he's really mad about it?
He's been like railing. I saw that kind of pop up in headlines this morning. How do you guys all feel? Like, I'm not a movie man. We've all known that for years on the inception of the show. I don't know why I find this way. You guys probably aren't as sensitive about these sort of things, but it's very, in a weird way, scary to me to think that movie theaters are done. I don't know what that means in my brain. I'm just saying, like, as far as like pandemic markers, things that tick.
Yeah. What's a change?
It's a pretty severe change, and I'm not really sure how I feel about it. And I know I'm not the guy that goes to the movies. I have no stake to say, like, oh, my God, my hobby's dead. It just doesn't feel right. It does not sit right with me. It makes me feel odd.
There will still be movie theaters, but my prediction, and it's still the same as it was at the beginning of COVID, there'll be far less, and it's not going to be a thing as much.
Like a high-end.
It'll be a specialty, like a new movie that everybody likes. You want to go watch it as a group.
And have dinner. And
to me, this goes the same way as podcasting did back when podcasting first started coming out, and I was like, well, it seems logical that this is going to be popular based on... All right, if everybody has a phone, it's easy to get your favorite shows. That's how you're going to consume them, right? So with the movies, I always look at it like explaining to my sons. Like, if my sons, and they have the option of, like, seeing a new movie at a theater or at their house, they would probably be like, I just watch it at my house. Why would I go somewhere? And then I try to explain, like, the theory behind movies. Like, oh, no, you get to watch it with a big group. and you get it's more exciting, and they're going to be like, how, like, is it, like, I understand if it's like a new release or something, but for a regular movie, it seems like I just want to watch it at home. And I can
the counterpoint to that is I like going to the theater because I have to concentrate on the movie. I can't be looking at my phone. I got to go to the bathroom or deal with the kids, like the kid peed his pants or whatever. That like going to the movie theater, it's focused on the movie and that's it.
Yeah, but
your
that's how my
son
day
sounds
is
like
when I get home.
9
I go
years
home and I'm
old.
dealing with my kids. And,
Well, speaking of that, though, it's almost you at home. You can push pause and go to the bathroom or get a snack or whatever and go back and push play.
but it takes you out of the movie and the experience is kind of ruined because it's like starting and stopping. There's a narrative to the movie and it has a pacing, and if it's that way and you stop it, you kind of throw that all off.
So the only advantage, okay, let's look at just the advantages of a movie theater. So the advantage is that you're more into the movie, all right? But that's on you.
Well, it's more designed for the movie. Let me help
It
EJ a
depends
little
on the
bit.
movie.
Yeah.
Like a movie theater is specifically designed. Like if you look at my living room, I have a great TV and I have pretty much any entertainment device you would need to live a great life, right? But it's not the lighting's not good, the sound isn't
the best.
Yeah, like a movie theater is designed to deliver that movie to you, beam it right into your brain perfectly, right?
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that at all.
Now, but the downgrade between a theater and your house. Now, if you take out all the stipulations, like
My house is cleaner. I'll give it that.
So let's say,
That's true.
That's number one is just cleanliness.
So
Yeah.
EJ, take out the distraction, which is basically if you sit down and your kids are asleep or not and you're like, hey, I'm watching this movie. And so let's say you're in the right mindset.
Leave me alone.
Then what are we talking here? Obviously, at home experience cheaper. Obviously, the concessions at a movie theater are insane. We all can agree that.
And you can make whatever you want at home.
Yeah, I mean, you can eat nachos if you want to in your underpants.
You could drink whatever you want. You have, and I mean, no people. You don't have to be around people.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's a concern now. But even a couple years from now, the downgrade between movie and your house, I just don't see a huge enough of a.
There's not a gap enough between the house and the movie theater to make it justified to go to the theater.
It's weird.
Of an enjoyment level.
It is weird to hear our arguments not necessarily change, but like just the source of them change. Because I can remember maybe even 2 years ago, we would have an argument where you guys, namely EJ to me, would say, well, why are you okay watching movies at home? And I would be like, well, I can eat anything I want. It's cheaper and I can sit in my own pants. And everybody would be like, well, when you go to a movie, it's an experience. You got to get the screen. And see, now we're arguing because, like, honestly, I think it's been devalued just by the ability of going out there.
Yes.
Just of having to go there.
My whole thing was new movies, but now if you have the opportunity to watch a new movie at home or at the theater, all I'm saying is the difference. Maybe the theater is 2 ticks up or slightly better experience because of the screen.
The problem isn't the option to watch it at home. The problem is that it's only going to HBO. And
that
so,
people are mad
because now they're kind of strong handing you, if you want to see any of these new movies, which there are a ton of next year, you have to get HBO to have access to them.
You would have to pay anyway, right? You'd have to go to the movie theater anyway. So you weigh it out. I mean, if you're,
but are they doing it where I have to pay on top, just like Disney was doing?
I don't know.
I have to get
I think
HBO
they were
and
saying
pay
that
for
you
the
had to
movie?
pay on top on the really
screw
new
this.
ones.
I don't like it.
But it's still cheaper than the movies, right?
I mean, if I take $30 for Mulan is cheaper than going to the theater and spending $40 just to get in, and then you're spending $50 on concessions.
But I see why the directors are mad because they're saying we got swindled. They didn't disclose this with any of us, and now all of our movies are going
this wasn't
straight
part
to
of our
HBO.
deal. But the thing is, it depends on the brand of theater too. Like Regal and United Artists and whatever, they had certain deals with theaters. Certain movies wouldn't go to those theaters as well. So you're still running, whether it's HBO Max or Netflix or Hulu, you're still going to run into those deals that you're not going to be able to watch it because it's a certain brand.
Yeah. I just it seems logical that we're going this direction, and I don't foresee it coming back where all of a sudden we're going to have the same movie theaters, the same amount as we did in the mid 2000s. It's like, everything. It's just we progress as a society and we kind of put things to the wayside, and some things are become less popular, and we're going there. We're going to a more virtual world. We're going to a world where people are doing less group activities, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna get back to a world where there's movie theaters all over the place and people still enjoy. At home.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. Yeah. What else you got?
Okay,
for
the
nerds?
next story I have is do you guys ever watch Lifetime movies?
Yeah. My mom loved Lifetime.
You're
My
going to steal
mom
my
and-
Who's Porkin', aren't you?
I am sorry, Sam. It's too good not to bring up because
It's too good
it's
not
ridiculous.
to steal the pork.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
And we talked
Have
about
you
this, and I
seen
told you I wouldn't
the
do it.
case-
I'm going to do it.
Have you seen the KFC movie with Mario Lopez that's Colonel Sanders?
I have. It's a buff Mario Lopez, and he's dressed like Colonel Sanders, and he's doing like a Lifetime romance movie, a mini movie. It's just
it's a mini
more.
movie. I think it's like 30 minutes.
It's
Yeah.
15 minutes.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
15 minutes?
Should have let me
Sorry,
do it on
Sam.
Who's Porkin'.
Sam, you can take over
you
here.
can
No,
still do
no,
it.
you do it.
You can still
I'll
do
just
it.
correct everything you say. Go
We
ahead.
can do nerd pork, and
I don't want to do nerd
Why
pork.
don't you steal Samantha's story, then you get it wrong right off the bat?
I know.
well, then technically he didn't steal it. He just
I didn't steal it. I just screwed it up really bad and made it like hard for you to fix.
It's
later.
just an it's advertising. It's a 15-minute commercial that they bought that will be comedy, where Mario Lopez, being a good sport, playing a sexy Colonel Sanders, and it'll
Okay.
be a romance movie, and it's funny.
Talk about the original recipe and everything.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it doesn't even matter where this is, like on TV. What it matters is how many people download it, right? Because that's what it's going to be.
I don't even think that any of that matters. It just matters
No.
how many news stations pick it up and throw
Oh,
KFC
it
in the
was
headlines.
all over the place yesterday.
It was
mission
all over the place.
accomplished.
That's why I had to bring it up.
Nobody even needs to watch it now. Everybody knows KFC. They're done. They didn't even need to film it. They could have just lied.
Yeah.
And they was like, "Oh, did you see? Did you see? Did you see? Oh, it's not real. We still."
We only had the trailer. I'm sorry. We didn't actually do the movie because we didn't think it would work. And actually, it did work.
I mean, headlines are worth more than the stories nowadays, right?
Yeah.
I mean, most people are going to hear this. Like me, I'll just be honest with what I'm going to do. I heard it. Oh, Mario Lopez. I saw the picture. They had the link where I could click to go to it. I didn't go. I just read the headline, moved on.
Why would any big time corporation ever pay for traditional advertising when this seemingly works better and it's way cheaper, right? Because when they do these things, and we all know when they're doing them, they do these things so it could become a story, and then they can get free advertising by every radio show and podcast and everything brings it up in their news topics.
Yeah.
And it's like, you couldn't even pay. If you did pay for that, it would be some insane amount. And it's like, that's free. And why? I guess it's hard to come up with that thing.
What's
that
funny
everybody
here,
talks
though,
about.
is that, like, so Kentucky Fried Chicken has now solidified themselves as the wacky restaurant, right?
I kind of love their marketing.
Yeah,
but
but-
I don't love
Yeah.
the chicken.
They're the one, though. I mean,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are, out of all
I think
the...
Taco Bell started it when they started they're being more goofy with their Chihuahua and stuff.
Yeah.
But then
They kind of abandoned it.
Yeah,
and,
they did.
and then they pared down their menu, and people are pissed at them. Taco Bell, you got to get
You're
it together.
ruining it. You're going to be
Yeah.
the next Burger King Taco
Yeah,
Bell.
you're
Get it together.
terrible.
Yeah.
But KFC, owned by the same company, they do the logs. They did the honey bears. They did the logs.
they-
I mean the logs that you burn in your fireplace makes your house smell like fried chicken.
Yeah.
They've done the cologne. they've done the music.
The comedians that they were changing out.
Colonel
as the
Sanders,
Colonel.
yeah.
Colonel Sanders,
Yeah. So they definitely have become the height of goof social media. I'm gonna not take myself seriously.
Yeah.
Be funny.
Yeah, viral marketing.
God, I
for
haven't
sure.
had Kentucky Fried Chicken in
Me neither.
20 years.
It's been
maybe?
a long time.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. I did used to love their instant mashed potatoes with the gravy on top. I can get down.
Oh,
on
the
some
famous bowl is amazing. I like when I go to my mom. She has a KFC in front of her house. I'll go there every once in a while and get the famous bowl.
Yeah, I like instant mashed potatoes
I
and
love
gravy.
Pat
I can
Mal's
get
bowls.
down on.
It's like I'm like I can't eat a bucket of fried chicken. Like I'm starving myself and I'm still getting fat. And I can't. I can't. Like, what am I supposed to do? I'm Adderall, starving, still gaining a little bit of weight. I'm like, God
you're
damn
drinking 30 White Claws a
it!
night.
Whoa! I don't want to give that up.
Yeah.
Wait a second, that's me.
You know, alcohol is going to cause some of that, right? You need
Well,
beer,
that's
it's bad.
unfair.
It is.
I can't add a bucket of chicken on top, and then it's a Big Tim Murphy.
Well, just
Sorry, Tim.
We
All right,
got
the next story I have is Peter Dinklage is going to be the Toxic Avenger. Have you seen this?
yeah. I feel like I heard that last week, right? Early
It
on.
happened right after I did Nerd Jock. I told you guys about it, and it never fails. A story like that comes out, and Peter Dinklage is going to be the Toxic Avenger, which is crazy.
He's going to be in it, or he's going to be.
He is going to be the Toxic Avenger. Yeah. Well, I think they're going to use him as a voice actor, and then have someone else portray the character in like CGI.
So
No,
what?
he's too small to be. No offense, but
Well,
You know,
I think he's just doing the voice.
If anybody can say that, no, that's just you're taking away.
A slime man's job.
You're taking away a large slime man's acting job. You mean to tell me there's no large slime men out there that have voices?
So
I
what?
think Chunk can't do anything. No, damn it, not Chunk.
What is the Toxic Avenger?
He was a member from the Trauma Studios,
Yeah,
and
Trauma.
he was like a
Trauma.
janitor
It's
that
Trauma.
fell into toxic waste.
You get everything wrong. It's Trauma
Trauma?
Films. Yeah, it's the Trauma Films. And he was a janitor, and he got toxic waste spilled on him, and then he became a crime-fighting, toxic janitor hero.
So what is his powers? Just he's made of toxic waste. So
Super strong, ugly.
Yeah.
All the girls like him. Campy.
is he full slime man or is he
Half slime.
Okay. So does he have a human face or is it all slime?
No, he definitely looks like, hey, you guys.
Yeah,
For
it's a little slime.
It was like burnt and like disfigured.
Yeah, it's like think
kinda melted.
think
Yeah.
green, gray, muscly Freddy Krueger, slime man, cut off like shorts, but all the chicks love him and he loves America.
You know,
Think about the guy that went into toxic waste in RoboCop. That guy kind of looks like that guy.
you know what I'm mad about? When I was a kid, I thought I'd be around way more toxic waste than I am, and
Not
through,
enough. Yeah.
through Ninja Turtles.
All the art
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, it used to be
Yeah,
a
but
good.
it was
used to
like
be
barrels were just all around. That we would like knock
It was
them over.
good bad. It was good bad. You know, like toxic waste could kill you or it could make you fly.
I've never seen a fluorescent green liquid that is toxic. You know, besides from what's in
Mountain Dew.
I don't
I drink it every day.
oh my God!
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm Peter Dinklage, and I'm the Toxic Avenger. My god! It's happened. I'm just not as talented.
You know Peter Dinklage in the movie Elf.
Yes.
I
Yeah. Do you remember his name?
Where he's the author in it.
Yeah. Do you remember his name?
Oh God! I just watched it 2 days ago with my sons because they wanted to see it.
So is Kyle Gass. The second writer is Kyle
Yeah,
Gass
yeah,
from
yeah,
Tenacious
yeah,
D.
yeah.
I got it. I forgot.
That's a great movie. I forgot.
Is he
how-
like Stuart Small or something like that?
No, he's.
It's the writer that they suggested.
Somebody look up the writer in Elf who Peter Dinklage plays because it's a cool name.
Although the
Bye bye. No, I'm
the,
it felt like we needed to go.
the end of
Yeah.
Elf, I feel like when he flies away, I'm like, well, that's your son.
Miles Finch.
Miles Finch.
Miles Finch, yes.
You want my writers? My two best writers are getting Miles Finch? All right, do it. Put something together. Put something
Why
together.
do we need you two writers if we got Miles Finch?
Although in
With all hey, don't talk to my son like that. With all
Yeah,
due,
John Favreau.
You know
he
what?
did
Up
that movie
yours.
as well.
we're more ADD as a society because I could tell my boys were like, it's a little slower pace. It's a '90s movie.
Not 90s.
Uh,
It's
what is that?
2003, man.
All right, it's basically '90s.
Yeah.
2003, whatever.
3 years removed from the 90s.
But
Okay, I'll give
there
you
that was a different time period
Yeah.
where we were willing to let the story play, and my sons
Yeah.
are like, "Come on, get with the L! I want to see more kicking."
Yeah, that's
And,
why-
you know, I saw it in their eyes. They're like, "This is too slow for them."
like May couldn't do, and it hurt my heart. She doesn't like Nightmare Before Christmas. I think because it's more Halloween.
I agree with
Okay,
you.
And it's slow though, but
I
and there's
think
a
it's
lot of
overrated.
these songs and stuff, you know, and they're like,
Yeah.
"What's this? What's this?" And she's like, "I don't know."
yeah.
And I wish she liked
Well,
it. 'cause
she's
I
your
want-
daughter though too. She's not
I
in the
wa-
movie.
but I wanted her to like it so much. I like Elf, and I like Home Alone. We watched Home Alone 2 last night.
Oh yeah, I'm wait. That's next on the list.
You know,
Was Trump in Home Alone 2, or was he edited out?
I did not see him in this, and we watched
Really?
it.
So they edited him
They
out.
cut him
okay.
out.
Yeah, I may have been in the restroom, but I did not see him in Escape from New York. I forgot about
Lost
the
in
bird
New York.
or Lost in New York, whatever.
what would be their
Escape from New
Snake
York.
Plissken was in Home Alone? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. It's. I think that Home Alone 2 is a better movie than Home Alone
No
1.
way.
No, disagree.
I like it
completely.
better. I like it better. I like the,
The
bird lady.
Pigeon Lady's garbage.
Oh, she's
compared to
great.
the old man next door.
And Duncan with the turtle doves, fantastic. Fantastic. And Buzz. Oh, look at the Buzz at the end. Such a good kid. He turned it around.
Remind me how they lose them in New York again.
Oh, same
They
thing.
lost him in plane. They were on different planes.
Yeah, Dad unplugs alarm clock.
Okay,
You know, and he gets in the airport, but then while he's switching the batteries in his talk boy, he mixes up his dad with the other dad that looks like Rusty Wallace, the NASCAR driver. And he follows Rusty Wallace to the gate and gets on the plane, puts his headphones on, and the rest is history. And how did the Wet Bandits end up there? How did that I thought
they were the Sticky Bandits in part 2. They were
true.
the Wet Bandits in the first one.
Oh, you're right.
True. Finally got something right, EJ.
All right, EJ.
Hey.
What do we got?
No, we're done.
We're
We're
done.
done.
We're not going to talk about Metal Gear Solid. Oscar Isaac playing Solid Snake. I know that was a lot of stuff real fast.
You just talked about it. We're out of time. You got anything to plug?
I'll probably do comedy on Monday at the Harry Buffalo, and Ken Miller's doing his toy drive there, so definitely bring a toy to the Harry Buffalo on Monday for needy kids.
What time is that?
I'll give you
9
something.
o'clock.
I'll give you something if you can run by here. I'd like to donate to that.
Sure, definitely.
All right,
stop
buddy.
by.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, love you. Bring my comic book.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer, is, I was going to say on the other line, but she's not. She's in a
My
chair.
God, what's wrong with you
I
guys
don't know.
today?
We're freaking out.
So
How are you, Sam?
I'm okay, I think.
Well, I'm not.
Trying to hold this show
I'm
together.
not okay, Sam.
We got new merch out right
All
now
right.
on the website. It's our retro collection, courtesy of the Danger Brain. They designed new, me and Daniel like to call them like 70s style logos. But
The throwbacks.
we've got a hoodie on there.
I also like I like it when we say it's the throwback collection because we're fashion designers.
There's a men's baseball tee, a new women's shirt, a regular men's shirt.
5 years in the making, you guys have asked for a pullover instead of a zip up. We finally gave you a pullover. So I don't want to hear it anymore.
A bunch of new things on the site, plus plenty of extra stuff, and you can get it before Christmas.
New
Eric-
corporate time hats are on there. I don't know how many we have left. They're very limited. And we have a new 159 hat that you haven't even seen yet that will be coming out in probably a month.
Yeah. So lots of new stuff. So go to tomanddan.com under the merch section. You can get through it through our app too.
Indeed. Now, dare I say that we get a lot of Weird Job Wednesday theme songs, and I've created a lot of Weird Job Wednesday theme songs.
Yep.
But I've never created a Weird Job Wednesday theme song that I like quite as much as this one that was sent in last week.
Had a crazy idea. Oh, for a brand new Tom and Dan bit.
Whoa, whoa.
And Daniel totally loved it.
Whoa, whoa.
But Thomas said that would just bullshit. Tom and his Weird Job Wednesday. Tom. Weird Job Wednesday.
It's a good one, right?
I'm leaning towards the worst thing I've ever heard.
Oh my God!
I don't know. I mean,
You don't like
it's
Chrissy Hines?
I don't recognize that song.
Back of the Chain Gang?
But
I
I didn't recognize the song, but he did it very poorly.
It was featured in Stand By Me.
That was
You
the
don't like
worst
the Pretenders?
The worst thing ever.
You know the song, right?
Whoever did that, no thank you.
You don't remember the song Back on the Chain Gang?
No, I don't think so.
Here, look.
I found a picture of you.
Okay, well, this sounds way better. Obviously, I mean,
I
whatever
thought
that
he
guy
sounded
did.
just like her. You didn't think? I couldn't tell the difference.
I'm just messing with you. Thank you for submitting the song.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you for your service. That
He's in
sounded
the
good.
chat,
That
by the way.
Really like you meant it. On the line with us is our good friend Randy. Randy, what's up, and welcome to Weird Job Wednesday.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for having me on.
What did you think of that song, Randy? I have a feeling that much like me, you couldn't tell the difference between that gentleman's selection and the Pretenders.
Yeah, I mean, it's a seamless transition, I'm sure. Obviously, there's something wrong with Tom's ears today. So.
That's what I thought.
I know what you're doing, Randy. You're just going the opposite. All right, Randy. Well, first I want to mention Streamline Mortgage Solutions, StreamlineFlorida.com. If you're going to do a cash-out refi, do it now because the percentage rates are great.
Hey, guess who I'm talking to today?
Who?
Brian Zeimel.
Oh, really?
Yep, because he wants to maybe adjust my house one more gift.
Oh, my God, really?
No, well, hold on. I'm not putting it out there. And look, I'm not in the market at all. But the wife wants to explore options. Because we have been here for a minute. Well, so I'm letting her handle it. You know I hate financial stuff, so I'm just going to let him do it.
If it's a better business decision and you can get a better rate and then you don't have to pay your mortgage for 2 months and maybe you take a little money out to pay off a credit card, there's lots of options. Right. Do the best business decision. Yep. Brian Zeimel will tell you and his team will tell you.
I actually lied to you. I'm not talking to Brian Zeimel today. My wife is talking to Brian Zeimel because I don't really do anything adult I don't do in my house. But you know that. Okay.
Anyway, talk to him.
Yeah.
So
have your wife talk to Brian.
So Randy, I know we may have put.
Oh my God! No, he's there. He's there. Randy, what's your job? He's just being respectful. Randy, what's your job?
Well, so I was going to call to talk to you guys today about a job that I had for a couple years, about 10 years ago, where I was the head women's lacrosse coach and an assistant, and a professor of physical education at an all-women's college.
All right.
Oh. Sounds like
I feel like
Rodney Dangerfield movie.
yeah, there was definitely a Ladybug vibe to what was going on.
Also, like a professor of physical education at all women's college. Sounds like a Uncle Randy joke, like a setup.
FBI, female body inspector.
So, okay, Randy, we know a little bit about you because
right.
You
call yourself Sharding Randy.
yeah. And Randy did win Shart Week 2019. He was a runner-up for 2020.
It only took us 3 years to get him a trophy.
And if you're a BDM, you can check out those shows. But because of those shows and your stories, I know that you weren't the most athletic child growing up. So how did you come about?
He was Big Fat Randy, wasn't he?
Being a physical education professor and a lacrosse coach.
And let me ask you one thing, because the chat room has our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. They have a bet. Tom, do you know what Ladybugs is? The movie Ladybugs?
How dare you? Of course I know Ladybugs. It's one of Dangerfield's best work.
What was he?
Portraying a coach to a women's soccer team.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, you lose.
Take that! Who said that? Norm? He's my arch enemy now.
No, it was Gatorbone.
Oh, Gatorbone. Oh, you and Norm. You'll get it.
Yeah, you're on the... Okay, Randy, continue.
So, last time we heard I was getting sent up to sit in my dad's car with a stomach ache at baseball tryouts, but, sports is always a really big deal in my family, and as I grew up, I ended up, not really starring on the field, but I ended up finding all these jobs in athletics. I worked in the athletic department at UCF when I was in college. I was asked to, as I started my lacrosse career, coaching career, I was on the staff at Rollins. So it just started steamrolling, and then there was a school up in Virginia that was asking, they were looking for a head coach, and they offered me a job. So I relocated from Orlando to Virginia, and I ended up coaching this team.
So that phenomenon, like you'll see a lot of coaches on the sidelines that are bigger, and then that's called too fat to play. So you like sports, too fat to play, coach. Sorry, Randy, but
also this also smacks of Ted Lasso porno. Like you're the head coach of a ladies lacrosse team.
Do you know? Like, are you a fan of lacrosse? Do you know the ins and outs?
Yeah.
Because I assume.
Do you even know what the tools they use are called?
So what happened was I was working in a school and the coach quit, and they were looking for someone to take over, and I was offered the job, and then ended up like completely getting invested and just trying to learn it like you would learn any trade. And it got to the point I was working for the U.S. Lacrosse. Like I was in their national team coaching program, and so it just kind of steamrolled, and it was just something I was good at.
Nice, man.
Well, hold on.
So you got in there sight unseen. You got into the lacrosse world.
Oh, this is Ted Lasso.
And you jumped in both feet, and you just started like kind of enjoying it. Then, right?
This is big Lasso.
Yeah. It just ended up like being something to do, and then it turned into a passion for a while. And
yeah, you're not Ted Lasso. You're Fat Asso. All right, I'll be right back. I can go take a poo-poo.
Hold on, Randy. So, wait a minute. Did you know lacrosse before this?
He said he didn't.
You just
He doesn't listen.
No, but this because I needed to clarify this because the fact that you were able to coach at a collegiate level a sport where you just learned months before the whole thing, like that's kind of disrespectful to the players, right? Like, imagine you're playing lacrosse at a collegiate level, and you're like, "My coach learned the rules 2 months ago." Like, that's our coach. All right, sorry.
It was I will say this: the first game I ever coached was also the first game I ever saw start to finish. But after like 5 years of coaching, it kind of came to the point where I was given the job. I had spent a year. As an assistant coach at Rollins, and then I got a head coaching job on my own. Now, I will say this, arguably the worst college lacrosse team in the country.
Well,
that's awesome.
I mean, no S, the coach just learned the rules 2 months earlier. Like, it is Ted Lasso.
This is a pretty awesome story, dude.
I'm not joking. I just assumed, like, I understood, like, this happened, like, in the 50s where, like, women's, like, college sports were, like, jokes back then, and they were like, oh, yeah, like, who's going to coach football?
College
Just get the
sports now
janitor.
for ladies can be very lucrative and can basically be your ticket to free college.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so, like, in the 50s, I can understand, like, them getting the janitor that knows a little bit about basketball to coach the women's basketball team.
Yeah.
But I didn't suspect that. I mean, what year was this?
2010 to 2012, I would say.
Yeah, like 20. Like,
cool, man.
That at a college level that they could just, like, the coach gets fired and they're just like, who can do it? Randy, get in here. They're like, you know about lacrosse? And you're like, I know what it is. And they're like, well, just read about it on Wikipedia for a couple of hours, and then you'll be qualified to coach. Anyway.
Out of curiosity, did the city you coached in Virginia, did it start with an L?
No, it starts with an R.
Oh, man, I think I got relatives that went to your college.
Randy, I don't know much about lacrosse. I know I've seen games.
I know it's very fast, and I know I can't keep up with it, much like I can't keep up with hockey.
So, like, this could never happen in other sports, and because it's just way too complicated, and to be a coach of those sports, you have to know so much.
To go there and coach a team poorly? I think it could happen in any sport.
No, but not to know, like, you learning a sport 2 months prior, and then even, you had some years experience coaching it, but like I'm saying, it's way too complicated. But is it scaled down easier so there's less plays and less complication? Like, maybe it's broader where just like an overall managing of the game state is all you need? Or do you calling plays? Like, is it complicated?
Oh, absolutely. I think you're really downselling the, amount of time and effort that went into this. It was more than just a few months. It was a years-long process. Like, I started in, like, 2003 and then to, 2010. But, when I started working at this college. But, yeah, I mean...
But you weren't studying lacrosse the whole time. Like, when you got the lacrosse job, when they said, hey, can you do this job, you had to learn everything about it at that particular time. It wasn't. That's all I'm saying. It's surprising that you didn't have any history or you didn't play. Or
I mean, he's a straight diarrheaing on your accomplishments.
Right. Yeah. No. But like, I mean, the beautiful part about like this job that it was just how horrible this athletic department was run. Right. But the
obviously,
outside of this college, right? Like there's a lot more going on, like in the lacrosse community, where you get your reps. Like you always say, it's reps. Mr. Ultimate Confidence, I can do anything in 3 weeks. You're kind of right in this respect.
All right. So
you're winning him over, Randy.
So, all right, Randy.
Obviously,
I'll
Randy
give it to
read
you.
the same book you read about compliment them, then go in on it.
So, all right, you're the coach of this lacrosse team. You say it's one of the worst in history.
No, he said the worst.
The worst. So, what was it? Was it the quality of players? Was it the obvious inexperience of coaching that you have?
How dare you.
So,
was it everything?
So, I will say the first year there, we had more wins in my first season there than that team had in the previous decade before, and that was 4 wins. So, it was just not a priority for that university to have quality athletics, right? They just wanted to have it. But, they hired coaches, my colleagues had coached at University of Virginia and at Temple University,
wow.
and, they were really, I would say big-time coaches that came in and basically we were all fleeced by what the school wanted. Just thinking about the players that I had on this team, I remember the very first practice, this girl rides up on, a gray spray-painted BMX bike with just a white T-shirt and jean shorts, just drops her bike and walks out on the field. She looked like James Dean coming to practice, and that's the way she was going to play that day, jean shorts and a V-neck white tee. And,
I got you. So your ladies that were playing under you had a lot of
ragtag.
Well, you had characters. So you had the girl, and her real name's Victoria. She's like, hey, don't call me that. You call me Spike.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's Spike.
100%.
Then there's a girl with glasses that squints.
Then there's a big fat one, and you call her Mountain or something. That's Rolly. She can't even talk. And then at the end, she's like, pass it to me. And then they get it. Then she falls in the end zone or whatever. And then you win. And then they all lift up Fatty, and they're cheering around the thing. We all know that.
And is all your gear mismatched from Play Against Sports and people's home tape?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I like all of this. And you save all your money. You do a car wash to try and get uniforms.
And that's not the way it's supposed to be at a true NCAA institution, but that's just the way it was here. My very best player, my very best player, who's a legit athlete. She had set a conference record for goals in a game. Got suspended from school academically and just went to work in the community. And I had to go to her job to convince her to reapply to school. And this job she was working at a kiosk in the mall that was selling swords and knives. So I'm there, begging her to come back to college, and
Dude, this is a winner. This is one of my favorite ones of all time because it sounds like a movie, dude. I could write this script right now, and we could get some of the best female comedians in the world and make a legit.
Yeah, and
we could even do it with really good local comedians and make a really good female sports movie.
I want to be in it.
Are you crazy? I'm already casting you.
All right.
Yeah. And,
Can I be Spike?
I'm not joking.
You're his right hand. Well, you're no spoiler alert. You're his right hand man.
In the movie,
you show him the ropes of the college.
We'll show a little backstory on Randy, and then we'll show the bus incident.
Yeah,
and
we'll show you winning the award. And we'll show that up until this point, the greatest thing you've accomplished, even though it's later, is the winning the Shark Week award.
Yeah. And then, so now you have this. Okay, let me ask you this. So when you're a male,
what kind of knives? Are we talking Rambo knives or folding knives?
Just the katanas, the build-down switchblades, and the butterflies.
All right, flea market style.
Right?
Flea market style.
Yeah.
So I've always wondered this: when you're a male coach over a female team,
here
right?
we go.
Oh no, okay, this not. No, come on.
Why
How
does he
dare
always
you?
go there?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, Samantha just thinks I'm.
We started the day out talking about nips.
Yeah, the whole morning was about Samantha's nipples.
So. Okay,
and then it moved to my nipples and Butler's nipples.
So I don't know if you know this, Randy, but I've been in some professional sports locker rooms before.
I've seen a million of them.
And then in a locker room, and I think it goes both ways, no matter if it's a male locker room or a female. The players, these players, most likely are a lot of like alpha type even on the female side, like they're super motivated, they're competitive, very
it's
like
business to them, yeah.
and they're athletes, and so when they're in the locker room, they're not like, ooh, like I'm gonna be
Wait, was
modest.
that an old lady? Where's my
they're
needle
just
point?
They're not embarrassed at all. They're nude a lot. Like I remember dudes walking.
So
the
is your
dongs always.
question that Randy's walking around and there's a bunch of ladies walking around their bushes out? Is that
So it went exactly where I thought it was going to go.
Yes, you're right. It's exactly what you thought I was gonna say. I said
just
it.
trying to double down? You know what?
You know what?
Guilty as
I'm
charged.
exactly what you thought I was.
Nothing more, nothing less. I am's what I am.
So
Here I am. Judge me if you will.
like, did you ever have a problem where you're like in the locker room and then like they pulling their tees out because they don't care about being nude because they're like, whatever, I'm an athlete, I'm not, whatever. Get over it. So did that happen? Or
and if it did, describe it slowly, really slowly.
I'll give you what you want. It's like in the movie Private Parts where they're talking about the scene in summer camp, and that you can just pretend it was like that. But no, I never had that experience. So
okay,
So it doesn't happen.
I just thought that like
Randy's not an animal. He
I'm
knocks.
assuming he wasn't going into the locker room while they were
Well, no, sometimes-
showering and
All right,
changing.
ladies, I want to go over some plays while you're changing your underpants.
Well, no, like
Coach Tom.
sometime in halftime, you're giving a speech, and then like there's a player changing out her jersey or whatever, and she's like, "I don't care. I'm just gonna get nude. Whatever. Who cares? I don't care that you're a man and I'm a woman. This is a sports scenario, and I'm here to win." You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, no, I know,
right.
but
I mean, some of that does go out the window, but it's I mean, for the most part, you're an academic institution. You got to keep it above board.
So next question. I assume that some of these players have been playing lacrosse all their lives, like even when they were kids or whatever. And did any of them were like teach you about the sport, or did they know that you had limited experience going into this?
Oh, you mean
and
like kind of
was
like
there an
in
open
Ted Lasso, Beard plays kind of like the guy who knows a little bit more and can steer the ship.
And they knew he didn't know that much, but he was a good coach.
He's also a wonderful motivator and a good person, which I think in a lot of ways gives you maybe somewhere in the coaching land.
And in the premise of Ted Lasso, it was kind of believable that you could maybe pull off being a head coach of a soccer team because there's a lot of on-field
Well, the
adjustments.
players have a lot of knowledge.
And so not like the NFL where literally the coach or the offensive coordinator calling plays. Yeah. Now, there are some coaches even in the higher-ups like college that are like a Bobby Bowden who's more of a figurehead, and he's kind of overall.
Yeah, he's the patriarch,
But everybody else is calling plays.
I hate saying this, but even like old Joe Pa, it's like you get these guys that are like larger-than-life motivators.
So did you have an assistant, Randy, that was telling you about lacrosse rules and what you should do, and you were kind of game managing, for lack of a better term?
So I mean, I took a real academic approach to it, and I learned a lot of the tricks of the trade, and learn how to play the game now. So what I would do is, maybe not at this school, but with other teams where people were superior athletes. Like I coached some players that went on, to win NCAA national championships, and people who played Division I at like ACC schools and stuff like that. Now, what I would do is, I would study and I would learn tricks, and I would like, hey, here's something that you can try out. I would show them kind of the gist of how to do it, but then with their athleticism, they could take that to a whole other level and just really execute it, better than most people. So, it's just teaching really is what it boils down to, and then motivating. Like, I know this has been a topic a few times on Nerd Jock, and Tom talks about, hey, they're just millionaires out there playing against each other, but all things equal, the person with more motivation, or maybe the person who knows a little shortcut, they're going to be the ones to win. So I would almost look at it that way. And then things come with time. You learn strategy over time, you learn situations over time, and things tend to repeat themselves. So you're like, okay, well, last time this happened, I messed up by doing X, so this time I'm going to do Y. Oh, there you go. Look, we got the win, we scored the goal, whatever, and then so you just continue on that path.
So, Randy, when you're the coach of an all-time bad team, and I've wondered this too in the coaching perspective, it's like, but it's hard to find a coach.
I mean, are we
to
a
talk
team
about
here?
It. Oh, yeah. Someone say no.
Our team.
But when you. Does everybody know how bad you are, and do you go into the game? Because I'm serious, like I always wonder, like I guess on the
when
NFL,
you guys played the best team, what was the vibe like?
or like any team you know is better. Like, did you all go into it talking about there's like we're probably going to lose this, but we're going to play as hard as we can? Or like how do you go into knowing you're probably going to lose a game for sure, 100%?
Right. So, that was absolutely something we faced every day. We played in a very competitive conference, so where out of, I think there were, 300 and some teams in Division III, and we were, in that bottom 10%. We would play teams that were ranked in the top 25 that were going to go play in an NCAA tournament that had All-American players on their team. And so, it was a lot about executing what we practiced, a lot of the whole do your best, let's see what we can get out of this. The other teams that we did play, they would just flat out say, this is going to be a practice for us, right? Like they would come in and maybe put stipulations on themselves, like we're going to play really hard till we get up by 10, and then we're going to, practice the play that we're going to use next week against another team, or we're going to limit our best players to score 3 goals a game and stuff like that. So there was a lot of respect in that, but then there were some certain teams that would take a chance to really just try to embarrass you or clown you a little bit. They would start shooting behind the back or between the legs and stuff like that, and then
I like that.
And then you kind of stop playing for the spirit of the game, and it was tough, but it was.
I like in any sport when the other team starts globetrottering you, start pouring the fake water in your head, and you're like, "Oh, they're so much better."
I remember we got beat one time by another team early on when I was a little kid in Pee Wee soccer,
doing
18-0.
Oh yeah.
And they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff, and I think I just started walking to my mom and dad, off of the field, during the game. I just started walking to them because it was terrible.
So when you went to the star players' knife kiosk, did she come back?
She came back for a short amount of time, but she did not play a second season. No.
That
was lost,
the knife game is too lucrative,
Yeah, but I will tell you, this is puts a lot of confidence going into a game. My goalie, we were on the bus to a game, and she was reading her tarot cards to see if we were going to win today, and then she explained to me that we were going to lose, and I shouldn't be mad because that's what the tarot card said. So.
Well, that's comforting as a coach.
Yeah, it's good.
Now,
that's a great assistant coach.
Randy, what was your best win? And even if there's no actual wins, was there any scenario where, even bad teams, they could play well against a good team for a little bit, and then people are like, whoa, that was pretty good. And then they take away, all right, even though we lost the game, we played competitively and we looked good, so we'll take it away. We'll take that as...
That's a victory, sure.
Yeah. Was there any of that?
Yeah, and in some instances, that is a big deal for the kids playing the game, to know that they hung with someone they've never beat before, or to beat a team we never played. When I was at that school, I think the biggest win, there was another all-women's college out of Atlanta, and their coach was just a real know-it-all, scheduled the game with me thinking it was going to be an easy win, a lot of talking down, a lot of unsolicited advice, and we whooped them. And so I really enjoyed that. I think that's kind of where we capped out as a team with, playing teams that were similar to us and how they were made up. But we really could not compete with the bigger schools in our conference at all.
Well, Randy, you're around our age, so you must have been close to their age back in, when was this?
2010.
2010. So, were you in your mid-30s and these?
No, I turned 30 right after the season ended. I was like 29, 30, 31 at the time.
Did you have any problem with the respect level? Because it's weird for, like, you know, your college age, you're like 20, 21, and your coach is 29. I feel like, you know, right? You expect your coach to be like a middle-aged
It was
person?
always weird for me, like playing even in high school when we would have coaches come over from Stetson or places, and I'm like, well, you're like 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're like, you know, run a lap. I'm like, no.
And I've seen you, Randy. You don't look grizzled like you know what I'm saying? So
You're
like,
actually like a very friendly-looking man.
Was it hard to get respect, especially
Wait,
from?
are we
like,
doing it? I get
At
no
that
respect.
level-
We're back at
Oh
it.
my God, we are
Ladybug.
Yeah. And Ladybug.
You're
I wasn't saying bye-bye.
Okay. Yeah, so, you know, that's an entry-level position. A lot of the peers across the teams that we played were also younger, stepping stone. You know, you go up in division. And so it wasn't out of the norm, but there's a relatability there. So you're not too far removed experiencing the same experiences. You know, you can have honest conversations. And I think, you know, again, with the respect, it's a lot of just relationships. But, you know, in any job, they say, you know, there's going to be a group of people who just don't like you and, you know, don't want to listen to what you have to say, personality clashes and whatnot. So,
Sure.
you know, that was always difficult to navigate and trying to keep those people away from the people who might, you know, have mixed opinions about you. So,
Well, what does a coach who absolutely sees no bush in the locker room and has the worst Bad News Bears styled team of collegiate lacrosse players you could ever assemble?
Yeah.
What does one make doing that?
so my base salary there was $35. They gave me a duplex and also free tuition, so I ended up getting a master's degree out of it.
That's
Nice.
dope, man.
That's not bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I expected way less.
Ah,
like
me too.
I thought that they would use more of the tuition trade and be
Yeah.
like, this is just like $15,000, but we'll give you free tuition, which is
Yeah.
worth it.
So
you know,
30, a duplex,
That's
free
pretty
He
nice.
got his master's. And not, I mean, you didn't even get a little hair out the side of the underwear?
Jeez Louise.
No, man.
Yeah, that's,
Well, what about the player that like, hey, coach, I know it's after hours.
Wow,
I
now
know
you're really up in the game.
Yeah, and then she's holding. I've seen the pornos. I know what
They
happens.
never do that. That never happens.
It's not real life.
Yeah, it's not real life.
I mean, hold on. And sometimes it happens, and we're
No,
like, whoa!
I don't think it ever happens.
It happens sometimes. Nothing.
I was actually married to an admissions counselor at the time, so that would not have gone over well.
Randy, you're
Oh,
the
that
worst.
That wasn't a question. I'm just saying, like, maybe the
Yeah, you
Did they
know.
hit on you or
yeah,
flirt with you?
because maybe the play, like, there's
Yeah,
a
they want
coach.
a little extra play time.
You know, maybe she
She comes out only wearing 2 wickets on her breasts.
she grew up on the wrong side of the track. She looked at you like a
I'm
father.
I'm sick of working at the
Really
Ninth Star.
familiar.
Take me away, Randy,
Yeah.
with your starting ways.
Yeah. You're like a father figure.
The all women's colleges, they attract a very particular type of student. So maybe they were more interested in my wife than they were in me.
How dare you.
That's what I assumed, but I didn't say it because
Wow.
you know the.
I didn't know that, nor do I understand what you're inferring.
So I assume the truth.
either.
I have no idea what this
That's all-
gentleman. I know I have no idea what he's talking about.
All right, Randy. Well, thanks for being involved.
Are you still
with
married to the
Governor.
same admissions lady?
Oh, no. That ended horribly.
No.
Wait, let's hear about
Hold on
this.
a second. We got time to kill.
Yeah.
Hold
What happened?
on. Yeah, what happened? What'd you do? You get caught looking, peeking at the
No,
windows?
man. Just, you know what? Tom will see soon enough. He'll learn.
Oh,
This
my
guy's
God.
gonna kill you in the parking lot. I know what that means.
What did I
I've heard
do?
people
What
say
did I
that before.
learn?
He's like, oh, you'll learn.
Tell
when I
me.
blow your head off in a Big Lots
I
parking
don't
lot.
think I'm learning anything.
He's not, so you might need to tell him.
You haven't learned anything in the, like, I don't know, I've known you 20 years. I think you've stopped learning. You're leaking learning.
Yeah. Okay.
And now
yeah.
Randy, he's going to kill you.
Yeah. So is it better? Is it better on the other side, Randy? I did like.
What, after you get divorced from a crow? Is
Yeah.
that what he's saying?
Yeah, because it doesn't seem like you're like really
How do you
partying it up?
Yeah, Randy,
like, what are you doing?
What are you doing post Crow?
So I travel a lot, man. Like I've been to Europe a few times.
That's what
before.
freaked out guys.
I've seen Europe is not that good. It's a bunch of.
I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Amsterdam.
How many stinky old cathedrals can I see? I'm like, all right, it's a gray. Okay, I get it.
Yeah. I love France. A lot of gold and a lot of pee-pee smell.
Like, I can't understand you. Yeah, it stinks like pee-pee in the subways. Like, it's not that good. It's not like I'm like, oh, this. I'm like, all right, okay.
There's COVID everywhere, and movie theaters are gone.
Yeah. It's like, all right.
Well, I'm glad you're crow-free, and you're our winner this
Thanks.
week.
Appreciate it.
All right,
see you,
man.
Randy.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. He didn't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to talk. You see that? He didn't want to talk about that.
We got to get it out of him.
Yeah, we got into an area, like he would talk about anything with the coaching thing, and he was very diplomatic about it, and I
He's talking about
appreciate
pooping
that.
his pants twice.
Yeah, but he won't talk about his,
I got to know.
his run-in with the crow.
It's too
Randy,
close,
I'm calling you for Who's Porking. I'm going to find out
Oh,
what
wait,
happened.
now you're going to start doing Who's Porking, but it's
With
like
listeners.
people we know. That's a crazy bad idea.
Too dark.
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be horrible.
I'm not, if I wasn't so lazy, I'd say let's film a made-for-TV movie about Randy being the coach of this Bad News Bears lacrosse team, and
Get 360 on the phone.
like all the cliches
Why
you're
don't,
talking about.
why don't we attempt to do 15 minutes, kind of like this Colonel Sanders thing that Mario Lopez is rolling out?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I think I'm good
like
to write a
short-
solid 12 minutes of something, you know, and then where do we do Shart and Randy? It's like a Ted Lasso spinoff, or like inspired loosely by where he's a...
It's just, man, it's an insane amount of work filming that.
No, we're not going to film it. I'm just going to do what, you know, I'm just going to give the idea to
yeah.
Like, you write it.
Now you got it.
Yeah, that's what you do.
In fact, we should get someone else to write the idea. If you're listening to this, write the idea. And then we'll do something with it.
It's not going to be good, but here's what I am willing to do for you. I'm willing to pay 360 images to film it.
Yeah.
I'm willing to supplement this specific guy I want to put in charge of it, our showrunner, Remy.
Okay.
I'll give him the premise.
Stepping away from this
he has a
project.
budget, and he has 360 that we paid for, and go for it. You have 1 month. Yeah, and we just see, what do we get? What do we get?
After 1 month, you're like, you spend $8,000 and everyone has COVID? That's all we got.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's terrible. All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be back with a bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. It's time that we pork.
Pork, put it on the fork. Fork that pork and put it in your mouth.
No.
Eat that pork goes in your belly. Part that fart and make smelly. Put that doo-doo in the potty. Everybody knows that I find a party.
Oh, you look at me like you freaked out.
Well, I did freak out a little bit. It was a freak out.
Why'd you stop?
Because I said I found the party, and then I didn't know where to go from finding the party. I'm getting old.
Who's Porkin'? Brought to you by Porky's Barbecue right there in Apopka. If you want to get that smoked holiday ham, go. Oh.
Yo, mama, putting out clothes. Yo, mama, suck my mama in the nose. Did it hurt?
What was that? Samantha
Supposed to say no.
Oh,
Did it hurt? No.
Not familiar with that.
Oh, it's a.
I think it's racist, right?
It might be. I don't know.
My goodness.
It might be.
Yeah,
It might be. What was?
that's old school DeLand.
Well, what could
All
go
right,
wrong?
Melvin Dewey.
Well, what could go wrong? It was just a song you sang as you were marching in the Civil War. Harmless.
So, all right, what do we got today?
So no thanks to EJ for him ripping off my segment and doing a terrible job at it.
I think he gets nervous, and so he half reads the details, and then we ask him, and then he'll be like, it's this! And he's like...
He could, make notes or something.
I'm pretty sure he half reads all the details of the stories.
Wow, his tutor was Gore, so...
So mark your calendars for this Sunday, because
right.
KFC has partnered up with Lifetime for a Lifetime original mini-movie starring Mario Lopez.
Is he just the star? Because I feel like you need a good female star too.
I'm not familiar with the female, but the movie is called A Recipe for Seduction, which I love. And it says It follows a young heiress as she struggles to pick between a rich suitor selected by her mother and the new house chef, Harlan Sanders, who brings more than his 11 herbs and spices.
Is his real name Harlan Sanders?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is Colonel Sanders based on...
Off of an old plantation colonel?
Well, but I'm saying...
Are you asking in a weird way?
He's a real person.
Yeah.
Was he? I thought it was just a character.
He's real. What are you asking me if he was at all problematic?
No, I didn't know if he was real or not. I thought he was just a fictional character made up by a marketing
I think
team.
he's real.
Yep, he's
Much
real.
like Ray Kroc invented, he's the McDonald's guy.
So there was a Colonel Sanders that had
Colonel Harlan David Sanders.
and he started selling his chicken, and then he started this empire.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's a businessman. But so maybe you have heard about this because it was all over the place. But did you know that there was a KFC video game called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator?
Hold on, what?
Whoa, hold on a second.
Why is it's a dating simulator?
Yes.
Are you trying to... Can I play it online?
Yes, it's a Steam game.
Oh,
So it says...
Oh, what does that mean?
Steam is basically a gaming site or platform you
so
can...
it's online.
Yeah, it's online. You can belong to it, and you can subscribe, and there's all kinds of different games
Is
on
this
there you can play.
Is this another marketing ploy? Or?
Yeah, but this came out last year. I don't know how I never heard about this. It was released last September. It's called I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating simulator. It follows you, a promising culinary student, as you try to date your classmate, Colonel Sanders. Throughout your journey, you'll be faced with life-changing decisions that will affect your chances of friendship and love. But be careful, your choices have real consequences with real animated characters' feelings at stake.
This is another publicity stunt
They
that fell
do-
flat, right? Like the morning radio didn't talk about this one.
It actually looks really cool.
I don't think it falls flat. I don't, because I don't think...
And Colonel Sanders is hot in this dating simulator.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
saying.
think it cost much probably to do.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
You get
it's
some
so
full sale.
weird.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and then think about this. It came out last year, and maybe it flopped then, but it's 2020, and because of this other Lifetime movie, we are now going back
Yeah.
and looking at their other failed attempts. So in theory,
Dude,
it really didn't fail.
I feel like me and you, and if this doesn't work out, which obviously
We could
it's
work
not
for
going to.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's marketing department.
No, I feel like me and you could work in a marketing department and just come up with goofy
Dumb
ideas
yeah.
like this.
Well, we did it for Orlando City.
yeah. And,
We did.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it would be very easy for us because I feel like if me and you sat down and just got high, we can come up with a whole year's work.
And we dress like the
50
type
ideas.
of, we dress like the type of guys that, in order for us to be genius, we got to smoke weed and go sit on our beanbag. In the employee thinking lounge.
Yeah, and the other employees hate us.
Yeah.
Just like Orlando City.
They did. Yeah, they're
Check out the graphics on this game. It's actually,
Oh,
it looks good.
Grandma.
I'd play it.
Graphics.
Yeah,
You
whatever.
sound like Tom.
No,
Listen,
graphics.
I'm taking over EJ. I'm a nerd.
So,
All right, hold on. I love you.
It's the most delicious dating simulator ever created. It features 9 lovable characters, multiple hours of playthrough, dateable Colonel Sanders, a secret ending, a secret recipe,
It's okay.
Look how cool it
It's done
looks.
like Japanese animation
Yeah.
style. Oh, this is great.
cooking battles, battle battles, earn a degree from a fictional culinary school, 11 herbs and spices, cute mini food, officially created by KFC.
Okay, I think what they did is I think they probably found a Japanese dating simulator, because these dating simulators are hella popular in Japan.
Yeah.
And you find a guy that writes this, and you just change the animation. The game's already built, cost them
yeah.
nothing. Great idea. Really good idea.
although what I meant by fall flat is I didn't hear about
I didn't
this.
either,
So
but
it's-
maybe it wasn't marketed to us. Maybe it was marketed
I can play the video.
Well, I think
Here, you want a little bit?
just like the Mario Lopez mini movie, these things are done so that news and morning shows across the country talk about it as subject.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Free publicity. So
But I'm
it's not-
wondering if it was marketed in Asian countries instead of America, and that's why we didn't hear about it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe you're right because
This
there's-
is fantastic.
There's KFC in a bunch of Asian countries, right?
Right.
This
I
is
kind of want to play this.
apparently KFC is mega huge in Japan, according to Brock BDM in our Twitch chat room.
Oh, okay. So this could be a Japanese marketing.
This is Awesome. He says anything for a fellowship. I'm playing this
hot,
tonight.
right?
I'm playing a hot Colonel Sanders Steam game tonight.
Now,
Not bad.
What are dating games?
It's like you go in there. It's basically like a role playing simulator, like a puzzle game, and like
you go this way or this way.
yeah, it's a choose your own adventure dating simulator, and they're very popular. I found a few of them on iPhone. Depending on how, spicy you want it to be, you can even get some where the goal is to have some sort of strange tentacle sex.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
I like that.
but
That's
I'm
the
just
one I love
saying,
playing.
you can have harmless ones where it's just you're flirting with girls and you go on a date to the arcade, or you can have a tentacle and a squidman and the beak and the,
Not to go completely
And
off
the crying.
topic, but we know what the 11 herbs and spices are, right?
I don't. Do you?
Man, BDM Brock says KFC is huge in Japan. They plan their whole Christmas around it.
Is that true?
What do you
I
mean
don't
they
know.
plan their whole Christmas around it?
I have no idea.
But I'm not saying I know the herbs and spices, but it's
Oh my
public
God.
knowledge, right?
How KFC became a Christmas tradition in Japan. It's true.
Well, what is it?
I can read the article real quick, but there's a whole article about it.
We got plenty of time.
Word for word, read it.
And we'll just speed it up. That way it's not plagiarizing.
How it?
I feel like every day we do this show, Samantha will say something like KFC is huge in Japan. But then you'll just get sad about the world, and then you just get like
No,
you seem very sad that
I'm not-
KFC is huge in Japan.
Well, I mean, they're just a giant corporation. It's weird to I guess revere a corporation that much because it's a corporation. But I don't know how it became a Christmas tradition.
Apparently, according to Brock in our BDM chat room on Twitch, he says that Colonel Sanders has replaced Santa Claus in Japan.
Really? No, I figured that out.
Look how sad you look.
It says KFC's Christmas promotion was the brainchild of Takeshi Okawara, who managed the first KFC restaurant in Japan. He would go on to become the CEO of the KFC Japan from 1984 to 2002.
Wow, that's a long run.
Just a few months after the first KFC opened in Japan in 1970, he had the idea to sell a Christmas party barrel inspired by the elaborate American turkey dinner, but with fried chicken instead of turkey. So he did basically like a Christmas campaign to make it look like this is what you eat for, your holiday meal.
Okay,
And it worked.
While you're BSing, a barrel of fried chicken for Christmas morning, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's not bad
And
at all.
How big of a holiday is Christmas in Japan? I'm just ignorant to it. Like, are there, is it as popular?
Can't be.
And it says since only
Probably
about 1
majority
to
Christians.
2% of the Japanese population is Christian, the country didn't have many established Christmas traditions, so they kind of created a Christmas tradition
That's
because
so
most of them
dope.
don't even celebrate Christmas.
That would be so fun to go to Japan for Christmas and just have KFC and party with them all Christmas.
KFC helped build a secular commercial traditions with the simple message, at Christmas, you eat chicken.
It's kind of like
I like it.
what
Hallmark. They hallmarked it.
Think about what Chinese food industry did with Christmas.
Right.
Of hey, we're always open.
Yeah.
It's
They
like-
do have Colonel Sanders dressed up as Santa Claus.
That's dope.
I mean,
Look at him go. He's got the hat and everything.
Yeah.
He's got the white. At least
Yeah, it works. The
what
glasses are a little
I would
weird.
call racist goatee.
He's got like the soul patch.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
called he looks like old Leonardo DiCaprio Django.
Yeah.
He's
Old.
flinging the N-word around a little too much.
Many packages contain cake. So with your party bundle, you get a chocolate cake with it with
Come
your
on.
KFC. Yeah, it looks great.
That's better than what we do. I want a bucket of fried chicken, all the sides, and a chocolate cake in a barrel.
Premium barrels include options such as ribs or roast chicken with stuffing.
We don't get ribs here.
So this guy just saw an opportunity to
It's just all marketing, man.
make a tradition of the Japanese people like KFC
Because there
and
wasn't
then-
one.
Yeah, and then
Right.
they're not that Christian, so they're kind of.
Yeah,
I mean,
at your most 2%. So he's like, I can get 2% of the people, or it's going to be less, but I can get that group of people.
No, well,
I'm just going to let them know that hey, this is what we do.
but the majority of Japan celebrated Christmas, but not for Jesus. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Which I think is probably the United States, really.
Yeah.
They
Most people.
They
Yeah.
disassociated.
You celebrate the holiday. You celebrate the time. A lot of
You do
times you
Santa,
forget that
yeah.
it revolves around the birth of Jesus Christ.
They
and all.
sell Christmas wine. at KFC in Japan.
Man, next year, T&D and a corporate time with Tom and Dan Japanese Christmas, and we go over there.
Hold on, can we order one of these bundles here?
Yeah, it'd be expensive, I bet.
I don't know.
But we can. We got listeners in Japan.
Well, I mean, maybe they offer them for shipping or whatever. I don't know. They ship
Oh, wow.
a bunch of fried chicken.
It says if you want to get in on the festive fun, however, you need to plan ahead. People are forced to wait in lines for hours on Christmas if they don't pre-order their holiday meals.
Well, we got time.
Well, can
It's
we?
only the 8th.
But can
I
you
don't know,
pre-order
man.
from the United States? Will a KFC locally make the bundle? Like it's the same corporation.
We can do what these YouTubers do, and we could be like, "Hey, it's Tom and Dad, and since we can't order this Japanese bundle, we're gonna recreate it here in the States. Come on, let's go!" And then we do some editing, and like, pow, 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 and then we do that. And we get a theme song, and then we're like, "Hey, don't forget to click that bell so you know when we upload a new video. Like and subscribe. Now let's make our Christmas barrel, yay!" And then we run to the KFC and like, "Hey, this is Sally. She owns an Orlando KFC. She's going to help us make our Japanese Christmas bundle today." Yeah. That's what all these guys do. And they're filthy rich.
I know. We're doing all this work for nothing. Like trying to just come up with funny stuff. It's stupid. We're idiots.
It's exactly what they do.
This is too hard. I want to just do that. Yeah, because that's it. And then $100,000 a month. Some of these guys are making that.
Can we make a bundle, Sam?
Sure.
What does it come in? A barrel? You said like a cardboard barrel?
Yeah, like the old
Like that
school
kind of clown wears when he loses his clothes.
Oh, well, no. It's in a bucket of
They
chicken.
call it a barrel.
Oh. So it's just a bucket of chicken and some wine.
They put a cake on the bottom.
Yeah, the cake, yeah.
This is what homos eat for Christmas.
Okay, so there's not really any packaging that's different.
We wanted a wooden barrel filled with chicken and cake.
So it's really just a bucket of chicken, a cake, and some KFC wine.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I like that.
KFC's all over the place, though, right? I mean, they're the craziest. And Wendy's tries to be crazy, but they just have a really snarky or a professional comedian that writes their Twitter.
Now, Wendy is actually a fictional character, right?
No.
Or is it based on his daughter?
She's
for
real.
His daughter. Where have you been?
She's real.
Which one's a fictional character? Ronald?
Ronald is fake. Let's go through. All right. Subby Subberton from Subway. He's fake. No, they've never. Jared, real, terrifying.
The Burger King fake.
Ronald fake.
Yeah.
Arby's the hat.
That's not just
fake.
that.
Just the dumb hat. Taco Bell, the Chihuahua, they don't even have one. That's fake. Wendy, real. It used to be
Dave Thomas. Yeah, Dave Thomas.
Dead.
Based on
Wendy, alive, but not as.
What about Popeye?
How do I put this?
From Popeyes.
Well, it's not. They don't never use actual Popeye, right?
I think they did.
I don't know.
Did they ever use the Sailor Popeye?
I don't think so because they'd have to pay for the rights to that. I don't think they have the rights to that. I think they just.
Well, hold on a second. So there's more than one Popeye? So there's Popeye the Sailor, and then there's Popeye the Chicken Man?
Yeah.
Well, at one point they did merge.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I told you. I thought they did.
But they stopped their relationship in 2006.
Timely. Like it's 2006. No one knows who Popeye.
Do you know what Popeye said when they had demanded that they relinquish control? You know what he said?
It says its name was originally inspired by Popeye Doyle, the protagonist of The French Connection. Yet such a name has led to it becoming closely associated with Popeye since its early history.
Is it true that Popeye, the Sailor Man cartoon?
You hate saying Sailor Man, don't you?
I love when you have to say that. I love it when you have to say baby things. You have to force them out of your mouth like your tongue's a shovel.
I think it was based on a real life person. At least I saw that high in a Facebook video or something.
Yeah, I don't think that's
You're
real.
thinking.
In the video I saw, it was like Popeye was based on a real person. Here is this man right here.
Yeah.
And
he's based off of the soldier, I believe, who killed the most in combat. And he was a little guy named Audie Murphy.
What are you doing?
I made that.
I knew
there is a real Audie Murphy.
He drew the guy that drew Popeye Elzai Cigar. I don't know how to say his name.
What, the guy's name is Elzai Cigar?
It's something like that.
Is everybody on drugs today?
Elsie Seeger? I don't know. He drew his inspiration for the sailor from a character from his hometown of Chester, Illinois, a one-eyed man named Frank Rocky Fiegel.
Okay, this is the story.
Rocky Fiegel.
Yeah, and he was, and then like there was something about him
You're
and
right,
like smoking
Tom.
his pipe, and then
Wow.
and then he had like
a
a
one-eyed
skinny,
pipe smoking
Congratulations.
brawler who never turned down a fight.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You knew 3% of a tall tale. Yeah, well done.
and he would fight, and then he had a skinny old lady. It was a whole thing. There was like some version of olive oil that it was like he liked them thin or young. I'm not sure. It was something weird.
Oh, yeah.
It was like they brush part like
Sweet Pea is a girl, right?
the
The
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
That's a girl baby.
But it's not his baby.
No, it's not his baby.
Yeah. It's just some
Olive oil is like one of those.
yeah. I mean, any sailor will do for her. She gets around. That's what I heard. It's part of it.
Well, she was still sort of dating Brutus, who had 2 names. There was that big fat guy with the beard
Right.
that always gets in a fight with Popeye because they're fighting over olive oil. His name is either Bluto or Brutus. He has 2 names.
I never heard of Brutus.
Yeah, he has 2 names. That one I know.
Then there's the high cheeseburger guy.
That's Wimpy.
Wimpy, yeah. So
And then you have the.
Is he real? Is
then you
Wimpy
have
real?
Then you have that huge Alice the Goon. Look up Alice the Goon because she's like some sort of tall, needs mental help woman who is really strong, like an Amazon.
like strong
special
lady?
needs
Amazon. And her name was Alice the Goon.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know this because
what was Alice the Goon? I never
she
heard
was
of
an
that.
Amazon, like a.
She is a goon, a member of the tribe of strange humanoids that live on Goon Island.
There
and
you
she
go.
serves as the leader of her people.
Yeah, and she is not the man. She's not a woman of many words. She's just big and strong.
Okay. Then from Goon Island.
From Goon Island, yeah.
What are we doing?
And then was I right about Brutus and Bluto? Same guy,
Yes.
right? Yeah, same name, or same guy, but different name. Brutus, Bluto. They changed it with the wind.
And
Popeye and olive oil. Well, Brutus would steal olive oil away from Popeye, right? So there's like a weird rape thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all weird.
It was all weird. And he'd be under his breath, like Bluto would like physically grab her and run down the street and he'd be like,
Yeah.
This guy, real
and then he eat the spinach and super
and he'd get
strength.
big arms. And then he'd go down there and he'd punch that fat ass and take his girl back.
Yeah.
And his whoever her baby was.
Although the size of your forearms wouldn't really translate into punching strength.
Be hard to punch.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
You have to whip them.
You'd have to gorilla whip them.
Yeah. It would you would have a great grip strength, but punching comes from your hips and your.
It's a rotation.
Yeah. The power comes from your
and
back
that guy's
and hips.
big. I feel like if he just laid on Popeye, what's the big idea? Like he couldn't get out or anything.
Well,
I think we did a lot of bad there. That was a lot of bad.
I don't know what we did.
I don't even know
I
where
think
we
can
started.
all agree that Popeye is the worst cartoon.
Yes,
Yeah,
It's
it wasn't
horrible.
great.
It's dumb. It's
So
not
can we
good.
have a KFC party for our Christmas party this year?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Have we decided if we are going to do the age? We only did it one time. We did a holiday dinner. Was it last year? Or 2
was
years ago?
2 years ago, I
2
believe.
years ago, we did a holiday dinner.
Of a company.
Yeah, where
That didn't last long.
We went to Manny's Chop House, which was a disaster. I don't know why we went there.
I loved it.
And we invited Butler's wife, and he must have told her it was like a
Fancy town.
Playboy party because she was dressed like an all-white satin. She
wonder
Butler's
what Butler told
Butler's
her.
wife came down a staircase and looked as if Celine Dion had made her second outfit change and was about to go into the Titanic song. She looked like $1 million. My wife's got on some old bulldog ass yoga pants. Your wife's got a baseball hat on.
Yeah. We're just dressed like we do the show.
Yeah, I had on this.
Tony, though.
Tony had on a Hawaiian shirt, jet black hair.
Slicked back.
He's a wine Dracula. and then
He sucked the blood out of his
then
prime rib.
I think Butler told his wife we were going to like a fancy steak restaurant, which I may have told him because I didn't know
Oh,
it.
my God.
Well,
I
Manny's
didn't know-
is a fancy steak restaurant, but they have like a
Yeah,
this
but it's
was
like the one in
family-
Pulp
It's
Fiction.
kitschy,
He's
yeah.
This is like
dancing.
a family version.
Yeah, it's a boy and they're eating in a car. It was a
Yeah,
boy-
like Butler ordered the onion rings, the never-ending onion rings, and they hit a gong. And then they came out and they're singing a song.
And then Tom signing our Christmas cards in the bathroom.
Yeah,
and Butler
like
walks
pee-pee
in
on the
on him.
envelopes.
Oh,
Well, it wasn't pee-pee. He did that move where he set the envelopes on top of the urinal where the flush thing is, and it was leaking, so it got some of
Jesus.
the urinal leak on the envelope. So I dried it off, but it didn't
Why
look
was I
like
sending the checks in the bathroom?
because you're a mess.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, my
damn it.
my wife gave them to me because I had the checks.
Oh yeah, then you stuck them to me.
And then
Like
I
this.
stuck them to you, and you didn't want to sign them at the table, so you ran to the bathroom and you peed all over the envelopes.
And didn't I stand up and start giving a speech?
yeah.
We told the waiter it was your birthday.
that was an awkward. What the hell are we doing?
I don't know.
Why do we try to do that? Just
Why did we try to have a business dinner?
stick to doing nothing.
Just give us the KFC party barrel and call it a day.
No, does that
We're
mean
not
anything?
good
I
enough
want to
for
know
a
from
business center.
I want to know from the listeners listening right now, 1-844-TOMNDAN, or leave us a mediocre message on our app. Just search for a mediocre time. And our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomAndDaleLive. Does that matter to you? If your boss
No,
invites
everybody
you
hates
to
that.
the end of the year dinner, would you rather the boss just, something minuscule, if he just handed you a $20 bill, which is not a ton of money, but
honestly,
hey, it's $20, right?
Right.
So we paid for the dinner, like a 2 nice steak dinner at that place. What is it, like 80 with drinks, $85
Yeah.
for 2 or whatever
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
If you would have rather had the $85.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying less. I'm saying because you got to factor in because I want to, I want to make some money back for the company.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we won't do it.
Ah.
You can either go to dinner with the Hawaiian vampire. You can have the never-ending onion rings. You can have the embarrassment of
yeah.
Butler's
I'll have
wife who
your
doesn't
pee-pee
want to.
checks.
Yeah, you can have some checks, the whole nine, or we will just give you $20 and we'll never talk about this ever again. And we'll see you after January.
Yeah, I think most employees would take the $20 cash and just.
It's got to be a low amount. It can't be $85 because, of course, everybody's going to say $85. I'll stay at home.
Yeah.
It's got to. You
Yeah,
got to have
yeah, because you're like, it's not worth the hassle and the whatever, the embarrassment and the and the awkwardness of whatever is going to transpire. It cannot not be awkward. I'm involved.
Most people are exactly right. They hate the dinner. Ghost of Minute Bull in our Twitch chat room. My boss leaves an Amazon gift card on the desk and leaves early for the day before our Christmas break. I'd be more mad if he took me out for steak and I had to do that during my personal time.
Yeah.
That's a great
Dude,
answer.
It's
a great answer.
You know who does these type of things? Like Michael Scott and like Michael Scott type of people.
But you
Well.
I don't think you understand. Okay, yeah.
I understand.
And if you're
I
Michael
get
Scott, if you're Michael Scott or Spot, I'm Kevin, and I just spilled the chili everywhere.
I'm gonna get you a world's greatest boss mug.
It's because you're like, you know what, everybody like a dinner, and I'll pay for it, so everybody thanks me, and maybe you do.
We're gonna give the awards. Daniel's song, he won a Dundee.
You only do it for yourself. Like you're not doing it for anybody, but you want, and then you want everybody to thank, like, oh, thanks for a steak dinner, but it's now good. Everybody's miserable.
Were you or were you not sitting in front of you right now? Is there not a pencil and a list of your Dundies, sir?
Well, we are doing coincidentally awards
Coincidentally.
You know what?
Yeah. And are we or are we not having drinks after we do our awards Friday show at Applebee's?
All right,
Ooh,
that's
going
true.
to Applebee's.
Yeah,
I do
Club
have
Applebee's.
to make
Club
a
Bees.
quick stop to a high school where I promised all of us kids scholarship to. I gotta go explain that.
Hey, mediocre. What you gotta do? What you gotta do? Podcast dreams come true.
Yeah. But the boss invites the whole all the employees out to a dinner is, I feel like, all about the boss wanting to.
Well, the
be
boss is
praised.
supposed
About that boss.
because
About
the
that
boss is supposed to pick a place that the employees never in a million years would
Right.
ever go to, and we
Yeah.
don't have that kind of yank or pull or
Yeah.
money, so we would have to go like, guys, we're all going to Christner's,
But
we're all going to see Costa Camelot. I'm going to be honest with
and-
you and Butler. When we booked that magic show before COVID, when we saw the price of both of your tickets for both of your respective families, we had to lay on the floor and regain our breath.
Look, I made my husband not come. You only had to pay for me.
I know. I appreciated that.
Yeah, we did appreciate you taking one for the team. But Tom is yelling at me. He was yelling at Coach Kimla. But Coach just snapped his fingers and Tom's mouth went shut. It was amazing magic.
But you never go to the top, like, really nice place. It's always like, it's the family style Italian restaurant. Like, hey, everybody, let's all share out of the type of salad I like.
Right. Yeah.
Pass me Alfredo. I don't eat Alfredo.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, like, I want a heaping helping of eggplant parmesan, big, and then we all have to scoop out of it. We're like, what the hell?
Family
Why
style.
are we here? Like, I don't even like any of these people. Like, that's the most like, I hate my job.
You just made me realize something.
You're punishing me.
The only time I ever eat family style are with people I hate. You just made me realize that.
You're saying in your mind, like, this is a punishment. Like,
we'd go to these
this is my worst case scenario.
These
Like,
big show dinners, and there's like a buffet line. I'm like, what the F am I?
Most people, I think, if you ask them, are like, hey, what do you want to do tonight? You want to eat dinner with all these people? They're like, hell no. Of course I don't. Who would want that? And they're like, we're going to make you do it. And then you got to thank me.
Yeah. Well, luckily this year I don't think you're getting a lot of that because of the virus. Like I think, you know.
Especially this has convinced me to push forward.
No, but especially the buffets. I mean, the buffet days are, those are literally dwindling, buddy.
Yeah.
And I like it. I go to brunch, and normally they give you your plates and whatever, and I've only been once, and it was when we were staying on Disney property, and they just bring you plates of food. You don't move anywhere. Fat people are going to be fatter than ever because the food comes to you now.
You just have to go a little bit out of city limits. Buffets open everywhere.
That's true. Yeah.
It's Florida.
Right, especially catfish buffets. It's just, like if it's like super southern, it's just roaring.
I forgot. Right? You go to a small town in Florida. I've done this like 2 times where I'm walking, I'm holding my mask, and then I'm like, did this? I shake it. The guy's offended. He's like, no. And then I'm like, all right. Pretty nice.
I'll take 2 of those do-rags, some of that cheer wine.
And I'm like,
give me some of that beef jerky, and what kind of porno mags you got back there?
Look, I'm in 2019 again. That is unbelievable.
My God, is that a penthouse with the Barbie twins on it?
All right. We'll be right back with more of Corporate Time. Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and I still don't know what we did last segment. Let's jump into some voicemail messages. If you want to leave us one, totally easy. You get 2 ways. 1-844-TOM, the letter N-D-A-N. That is our number. You can just call it. Leave a voicemail message there. Or you can get our Mediocre app. All of our content's on there. There's a little button that says Mediocre Messages. Click on that, hold it down, leave us a perfectly clear HD message that we can play on the show.
Yep, brand new merch on the site right now. New logos, courtesy of the Dane to Brain.
All the throwback stuff's really, really good. Let's try...
hoodie, baseball tee, women's shirt.
This is a good one. Let's go with this one. This is a Remember When.
Hey, Tom and Dan, Sam, Butler. I'm just curious, can you guys give us an update on the greatest cheater in the world? I'm just listening to an old podcast, and I'm curious to see how he's doing, see if he, how his business is going, Guy sounded like a pretty smart guy, so I just wonder if he, like how far he moved up,
Remember the greatest cheater in the world?
Oh, yeah.
I believe this gentleman would take people's SAT test for him, and he had worked out basically what he considered a kind of a idiot-proof or flawless way to scam the system, right?
I don't know if we've never heard from that guy again, right?
Never again.
So.
Never again.
Well, there were some people that were questioning his story and the legitimacy.
We got a lot of people
that
didn't necessarily feel like he was being honest.
I mean, it's possible to do. I mean, my buddy the Wizard did it for me. It happened.
Yeah.
So you can cheat on your SATs by getting someone else. Harder nowadays. Back when I did it, it was 2000, and it was still just you show up with an ID with your whoever picture, and then that's all. I don't know how much more verification they do now, but I imagine there's some more to it.
A lot of them now are they use specific cameras and.
Can you take your this is interesting because of COVID. I wonder if they're allowing people to take SATs from home.
I think it's camera. I think you would have to
just take it as long as you're on a static camera. I feel like you could cheat doing that, though.
Well,
right?
maybe they would make you go, this is a great question. Maybe they would make you go to a facility that's controlled environment of some sort. That way you wouldn't be able to manipulate
But you're by yourself or you're alone. Yeah.
Like if somebody, like here, for instance, if we were administering SAT tests here, it'd be very difficult for somebody without getting into our studio ahead of time to rig it in any way,
Yeah. I'm just curious to wonder what the new protocol is because of COVID and SATs and kids
it's a great
taking
question.
the test. There's ways to do online testing and virtually that the colleges, because they've done this, that they sit all right, the rules are you have to be in the webcam the whole time with your microphone on, right. And they make it so it's harder to cheat, but there's ways. I imagine if you had some sort of earpiece in and a camera out of sight that was reading the test and someone looking up the answer, giving you the answers in an earpiece, you can get crazy. James Bond with it and cheat, but I guess you could do that and during the regular test too, I guess, if you had a mini camera and an earpiece. That's what I was thinking about doing before I just had my buddy get an ID with my face on it. I thought about having an earpiece and me whispering in a microphone to my buddy the questions of the SAT test and him telling me back the answers. This is pre-internet, by the way.
So complicated. And who would have known that you invented Impractical Jokers? You're the guy. You're the reason we got those fools.
Pulled out her pants.
All right, bark like a dog. All right, take that whole bottle of ketchup and put it in your eyeball.
We should do. Where
it looks
are
like
they
they
now?
still have SAT
testing centers open.
Centers.
You know what I
guess if it was 6 feet apart,
and you have to schedule an appointment.
Let me ask you this: when I took my SAT in 1993, because 94. Yeah, 94.
Oh my God, that's when Sonic the Hedgehog was born.
Sonic the Hedgehog's 44.
Real. He's real.
I am the exact age of Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, he's born in 94.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. Okay, so if I took the SAT then, if I had that same SAT test right now, do you think I would score better or worse?
I think worse because you prepared for taking that test for a while.
How often do they update the SAT to reflect new knowledge?
I don't know.
Or different changes or questions that necessarily have been aged out or we don't talk like that anymore or
in what I remember with taking it was hard for me to make the correlation that the questions on these tests or this particular test somehow equated to the knowledge you would need.
And that's always your thing, right? You're always a questioner. You're always like, why am I doing this?
It's just all right, does this, I guess it's just another form or another way to show the college or whatever, how much knowledge you have, because what else is there, I don't know.
So apparently, according to this New York Times article, because this lady just took it a couple months ago just to see how the process is.
I would love to do it.
And she says the testing, she took her original one 10 years ago, and now the test is completely different. And she actually did try to prepare for it, but she says that the stakes are lower this year because many colleges are not requiring SAT scores. And that it's now just a rite of passage when you complete high school. You don't really need SAT scores.
I was going to wonder when they updated that because most tests, any test, whether it's driver's ed, whether, after a period of time, it either ages out or becomes obsolete and you don't need it anymore. And I would imagine as much of college being a business as it is, why do you what do you care? You just want our money anyway. At least that's how it was when I went back. It's not like they ever asked me.
And some people are just bad at taking tests, so it doesn't mean that you're dumb. It just means that You're bad at taking tests.
Well, let's do the math on me, right? It's easy. Anxiety. I
Right.
mean, so I'm a poor tester just by my own biological design. I get, like, if I saw you and Tom get up before I was done with my test, you might as well
Panic,
throw me
yeah.
away.
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm
Same.
dead in the water. You know, and I always failed math until they put me in the closet, and I take my test in the closet like a weirdo or like.
No, man, you were
I
a
know.
They
closet
did that?
kid?
I was a closet
Oh,
kid,
God.
and then I started doing really well because I, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
I can concentrate. I can focus.
So
I was the
I
closet.
didn't know they threw kids in the closet.
They put me in the closet to take tests. They just
Right.
put Tom in the closet with the lights off. And he just stood there silently, quietly.
You know the other kids call that the R word closet.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I think I got in a fight for that one time. But somebody making fun of me having to take the test in the supply closet.
Also, speaking of like opting out of things, I was at Tommy's school the other day and I saw something about the not national anthem, but the Pledge of Allegiance, right? And they're like, well, if you want to opt out of the Pledge of Allegiance, then because I remember even when I was a kid, we talked about this. There was like Jehovah's Witnesses in my class.
I had a couple Jehovah's Witness
And
kids
then-
too, and they wouldn't do the pledge.
And
That's
their
right.
parents told them not to do the pledge
Forgot
because
about
it's
that.
against their religion or whatever. So then, like, for that reason, and I'm sure a variety of other reasons nowadays, you could opt out. But to me, it's like, why would you do that to your kid, especially in first grade or kindergarten?
Yeah.
Because
You're
now
just memorizing some garbage or whatever.
yeah,
just
yeah,
say
yeah.
it.
Like,
you know?
why not teach your kid that this is just words or whatever, and like it's not a real pledge of allegiance, like it's against just so
You get thrown out of the church.
Well, how would they know at school? Like the kid just stands there.
Because if one of their other buddies is a Jehovah's Witness, they'll go and tell on the elders.
Well, okay.
I'm telling you, I watched a whole documentary on Jehovah's Witnesses, and I talked to
I
them.
just like the way you said it. That's all the only reason I'm laughing is that's the elders. They'll ring the bell.
All they call them.
And then you'll have to atone.
All the other
They go before the elders.
6-year-olds are doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and then Billy is sitting down, and then everybody's like, "Why is he sitting down?" Like they don't know and understand this wacky religion. It's like you're ostracizing this
dead
kid.
Right, because we had a girl in my class named Erin, and she wouldn't.
Just have them stand up.
They
and
can't
not say
participate in the birthday parties either.
Yeah, she had to sit while we were doing the pledge. I'll never forget this. I stood up and I'm doing my Pledge of Allegiance, and she wasn't allowed to stand, but then I saw her stand because she sat behind me, and I'm like, oh my God, she's standing up. She's going to do it. No, she was just standing up because she had to barf, and she barfed all over my Air Pegasus.
It just
she threw them all over them, red.
I feel like that's a certain amount of child abuse that you're like giving to your kid when you make him the weirdo out of the group, and it's like, oh, come on.
You're also forcing him to adhere to some religious thing that maybe, well, I mean, if the kid understands it, I guess, and is like he's like, I'll never say the pledge because I love my church. All right, well, you believe it, stick up for what you believe in. I got you, but I don't think they're
when
going
you're
to.
indoctrinated that young.
Correct.
I
don't think they're going to say that.
This is the exact equivalent to vegetarians, because my wife does this sometimes. If like, this has some beef flavoring, like some beef powder. It's like somewhere like
powder,
like 2 milligrams of beef powder. I am not eating. I'm like, come on, it's just 2 milligrams of beef powder. Who cares? Like, I understand you're a vegetarian because
Do you know
of
how many cows have to die for 2 milligrams of beef powder?
You're not eating a
the principle.
30-ounce T-bone. It's some beef powder or like some chicken stock. Who cares? Just eat it. You're being a baby. Like the rest, I understand you don't eat the chicken and all that. It's just the beef powder. It's fine. Just you're making it awkward for everybody. Eat them.
Maybe you are by yelling, "Eat the beef powder" at your children.
I have tears in my eyes.
Or they're like, I'm not drinking. This beer has the oil of a fish in it. I'm like, come on, just drink the GD oil fish beer.
Excuse me, sir. Is it true that the cloudiness in this beer is really just crushed up seashells?
I don't know. I am not eating that. How dare you?
Yeah. It's fine. Like,
I'll tell
it's
you what
just
I
some
do.
fish enzyme.
I've been to a Mexican restaurant here in town. I'll name no names. That I had a roach just roll. I mean, that MF just rolled right over my foot, and I was like digging in. And then I looked in my food, and there is a curly in there. And I'm not talking fry. I'm talking hair. Yeah. And I just picked it out and I threw it on the floor with a roach and I just kept eating.
True American hero.
Yeah. I just had I'm not gonna. Ain't nobody gonna break on my stride.
It's you, healthcare workers.
No. Okay. I'm like, I think we're even.
Okay.
No.
You and healthcare worker even.
Yeah. Then president.
Yeah.
Then. Yeah, no, that's right. I think that's that one. Me, healthcare.
Yeah. The Coast Guard.
Coast Guard under president?
Right under president.
Right under, okay.
All right. Bye. Oh, bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here. We're going to jump into your emails. If you've got something you want to throw down on the old keyboard for us, show@tomanddan.com. The email goes directly to me and Sam, and here we go.
Listening to, I think, an ACT about being lost at sea, I was on an aircraft carrier, the USS Theodore Roosevelt, from 1992 to 1995. While I was on board, a crew member was blown off the flight deck. People saw him get blown overboard. Overboard was called.
Oh, my God.
It was just before dusk with relatively calm seas. He was never recovered. If that's not scary enough, chew on this. In the Navy, we regularly conduct man-overboard rescue drills. While I was on the carrier, we conducted a drill where we threw a dummy overboard both to see if the lookouts were doing their jobs and also to see how quickly we could retrieve it. The dummy was made out of kapak, the same thing that life preservers are made out of. I don't know how to pronounce that.
So some buoyant
thing. It was big, it was orange, and it floated. With boats in the water and helicopters in the sky, we lost it. Point is, if you fall off a ship at sea, you're screwed.
Wow, man. Well, thank you for your email and your service.
That's terrifying.
And that is terrifying. My God.
It's just so vast that
you always hear
sense.
about, like, people jumping off the cruise ships and they turn around and get them, though. So I'm like, there's hope, right?
Well, I mean, I think there is, but I also believe there is not. I mean, I think once you're in there,
I think if you jump off a cruise ship at night and it's like rough seas, I
that's
think
the
there's
scariest thing.
Yeah.
I've told you
they have to be
before.
perfect conditions.
I have told you before. If you want me to be terrified, the image in my brain, just wipe your mind clean. The image of my brain of me up to my boobs in water, and I'm floating, and I'm just treading water. There's no life preserver. I am treading water, and I see, I guess from me to, I don't know, let's say 300 feet away. No, further than that. Let's say
300 yards.
300 yards away, there is a cruise ship with all of its lights on, and I can hear the Junkanoo beat and the beautiful Bahamian rhythms. Just pumping over the ocean.
If you had no way to signal them like a flare, then they'd never see it.
Never hear you in a million years.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You can barely hear, like, you could walk out on your balcony and just the wind, and if it's a little bit rough, just the slapping of water against the boat, and I can't hear my wife.
Oh,
right.
Dude, just the wind. Like,
Crazy.
if you walk outside of a cruise ship, it's immediately... like, the wind in your ears is loud enough to drown out anybody yelling. I don't think you could hear someone if you pass by them 10 feet, like, screaming.
I don't believe so either. Also, I think there's some weird physics that would go on with water and how sound carries. So I don't really know how that would play out. I'd have to do a little more research.
But it's amazing that they even find anybody in the ocean if you think about it. Although I did get an email, someone was mad at me. They're like, I was describing, like, why don't they have some sort of like satellite that can map huge portions of the ocean and then pick out anything the size of like a diameter of like a foot or something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I would imagine they have that by now. But
the guy was like, "You're describing radar, you idiot." But I'm like, I know radar exists, but I don't think radar can pick
People
up
are mean, man.
like
I know.
small things in the ocean, right? It would probably get confused by waves and things like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but there's ways around that.
Like, radar can pick up boats, but
they always improve things. Like, for instance, like my watch. Remember when the sensor wouldn't pick up certain things because of tattoos? I think they've like fixed a lot of that stuff because they just tried different things and different wavelengths and more power, or this battery or that light.
And you know those, like, you know how they troll some sort of like gigantic sonar behind a boat and they map the bottom of the ocean, you know, using sonar?
Well, they do that around here.
You can pick up fish.
Well, our buddy over
Like,
at Greenwood
Yeah.
Cemetery, you know, we're talking to Don Price, you know, who used to be the sexton out there. They have that technology over at UCF where they can come over and they can literally shoot
Yeah, but I guess it's so small, and we're talking about 1,000 square miles.
But it's picking out. It knows the difference between like a quarter dirt or like what a bullet would be, or different things, right? And that's solid ground. I would imagine solids would be harder. No.
Yeah, but I guess
don't know what I'm talking about.
You would have to like go over the area in such a small,
very concentrated sections.
I mean, when people get lost at sea, it's like, okay, he could be within, 1,000 square miles. 1,000 square miles is insanely big. It's like so vast that it's hard to even imagine. Like finding someone in just that, and that's probably just a tiny blip of the ocean, but it's still so huge that. It's like this guy said, if you fall overboard, you're a goner.
It is terrifying to me. What else you got?
Don't fall.
Yeah.
Good advice. This says, public transportation / crazy parking. Hey, gang. I was listening to an AMT and you were talking about nightmare parking and the virtue of public transport. I used to live in Philly. In South Philly, you can park on the main road in the center turn lane. The police and PPA won't ticket you either. They tried years ago and there was almost a riot. See, they park in the center lane. That's crazy. Additionally, there's a section where cars double park one another on lane streets. In most cases, both cars are owned by the same owner. When that's not the case, you leave your number on the windshield and you'll get a call to move your car if the inside car needs to leave. Public transport is great about 10% of the time. The other 90%, it smells like pee, trains are late, and you're constantly paying attention to make sure you don't get jacked. It's been almost a decade since I lived there, so many things may have changed, but probably not. Grass is always greener. Keep up the good work.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been on, I wouldn't say a ton of public transportation, but enough to smell pee on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been on public transportation where the smell of pee was so bad that I was like, well, there's no way I can ride on this.
Yeah.
I am not an adult, and I'm going to, I'm crying, or this is so unpleasant. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of...
In Paris, man...
I've never been to Paris.
The pee-pee smell would waft out of...
The tunnels, right?
The tunnel, like, where you're walking downstairs to the subway... And it's cold pee-pee because there's a cold there, at least when I went. And so it's like cold pee-pee.
That's a Kiss song, right? Cold pee-pee?
It was enough to water my eyes. Like, it was that pungent. Like, there was thousands of Parisian pee-pees down there, and it just...
thousands of pungent Parisian pee-pees.
No, but it wasn't enough to, make me not do it.
Right, that's
I
what
was
I'm
just
saying. Even the
But it
stories
was-
I've told recently of stepping in Caesar's dog poo...
Not that bad.
None of it has been to a point where I stepped in and oh, it's not my fault. I feel like there's a lot of overreaction and people like to really sell things. And I'm just saying, I don't think the pee-pee thing is that bad. So I'd say that maybe 25% of the time it's decent. Not 10%.
It's convenient.
I think he's going low.
Would you-
yeah, I'm a fan. I like it.
Would you guys... Okay, what if someone double parked but left their phone number on your windshield?
I call them.
How mad
I'd
would
have
you
to
be?
call them, right?
Or
Well,
you
know
call a tow
I'd be,
truck.
you know
guess,
I'd
yeah.
be mad, but I'm not going to call a tow truck. I'd call them first. That's only fair, right?
And
Probably
then-
quicker, too.
And then
Yeah.
if you called them and they went out
'Cause
and
you're being
moved their
cool.
car, then it's no big deal? Or is it like, you're inconveniencing me a little bit, so how dare you?
I mean,
Or-
I'd say something to him probably. I'd be like, that's not cool, man. But, it's not worth getting into an argument about.
Right.
Fighting somebody.
Although you must have in Philly, that must be.
I think it's pretty common.
Yeah, like the community thing, they understand that because if you did that in Florida, someone's towing
be
your car.
riots.
Yeah, because they're
Might
going to
get
get
in a
mad.
real bad argument with
Oh,
somebody.
yeah. Stand your ground scenarios.
Well, I think they would just call a tow truck instead of calling the number, because they'd be
Or
a
they might
D-head.
call the number and start a confrontation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just easier to call the number, right?
There was someone that I heard a story. It's a buddy of mine. He went out to his car and there was someone parked in front of it, like double parked, but with no note or anything, just like you couldn't. And then he was like, "What the hell?" And then he spit on the car, right?
Oh my God!
And then went
COVID.
And then
Who does that?
the person? Well, because it was a D-head, and then he went to go. I
It's
feel
like what an old wizard does when you steal his book of spells, right? He spits
and so
like old world.
So
insult.
then apparently he went back to his house and then came out later and the car was gone. But the guy came out and then saw the spit on his car and then looked at some security camera footage from the building. Yeah. And then confronted him with a car detailing bill. like saying,
"Get out of here!"
Yeah, that's true. He's like, I demand you pay. Like it was like $150
for spit on the outside of a
because
car.
you spit on the outside of my car.
No.
And then my buddy, just because he didn't want to deal with it, he was tired. This guy, whatever, he just paid it.
No way!
Wow, that's a crazy story.
Your friend's a wuss.
I'll tell you. You know. I do know. You probably don't want me to tell the story.
Is it somebody locally?
Yeah. So anyway, that happened. But now, because at one point he's like, I shouldn't have spit on the car. Okay, I lost my temper and spit on this guy's car. He double parked. He'd be like, I couldn't get out, so I delayed my day or whatever.
The spitting thing is
but it's spit.
Weird.
Who
to me.
cares?
No, but it's also weird to me. It's a weird thing to do.
It is a weird thing.
Well,
to
it's
do.
like the
You're
last
mad.
thing. Yeah, but I get mad all the time. And one of the last things, because it's just like, it's like I can get mad at anybody, like anybody, even people I don't like. You think of somebody, like, don't say anything, but think of somebody you know I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't want to spit on them, though.
Well,
That's too far.
What if he double parks and you can't leave?
Well, I mean, I'm inconvenienced.
You're not spitting on him. You're spitting on his car.
Right.
Which is, it's kind of nothing.
It's a nothing.
No, but I'm never going to do it. I mean, I'd sooner call the tow truck or call the number or call the police.
Well, that's worse.
It is, but I'm just like, that's what I'm saying.
This-
Spitting is the last thing I would think of to do.
But I feel like out of all
It's not going to make me feel better.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's a weird
weird.
reaction, but out of all things to do, it's the least D-head thing to do. And if I was the guy that double parked, I would take that over towing my car or kicking it or, you know what I'm saying?
but
You
it's
just spit on it. Who
weird.
cares?
It is very
How did the guy
weird.
even recognize there was spit? Like, unless
That's
he's
what
a big green loogie.
Are you sure your friend's telling
Yeah,
the
it
truth?
sounds a little far-fetched. Was it barf?
No.
Or did you pee on the car?
How big is this guy?
No.
Is he a big man?
Is it Chungus Bucumanga?
Yeah, is this
No.
Chungus?
No,
Because maybe
no,
he's a
no.
huge chunky loogie.
It must have been a loogie because
It had to be.
It must have been a
Like a snob? Yeah, like a big old honker. Like a gobber.
It
Like
had-
a ball of like my
Yeah.
dad sometimes would spit these spits
Oh,
that
gross.
looked like an
Oh, sure.
old dog's eyeball. Like it was swirly white.
You're like,
And I'm like, Dad, how long have you had that in your mouth? It's 20 inches wide. I mean, it's huge.
it's
And my dad would twirl it with a toothpick.
oh, God,
Like,
come on.
I'm just being serious.
We gotta go.
Oh, God. Bye-bye.